And hello, Internet. Welcome to Land Beyond the Mist. We have session 33 this Monday night. I am excited for our first mission to go against the posted mission on the board. So this should be an interesting journey, to say the least. I am going to, as we always do, turn it over to our friends around the table to introduce themselves and the characters that they've brought today, and we will get going. So, let's just go in camera order as I see it on my screen, and we will start with Horo. Why don't you introduce yourself for us?
Hey guys, Horo on Discord, David in real life. I'll be playing as Norbert, the Wall. Some people have started calling him the Dragon's Horde, just because of how much he can carry. So, I look forward to seeing this Wardmaster again. He's been very helpful to the party people that's seen him before, and we can't let anything bad happen to him. So, we definitely want to stop the Midnight Consortium.
All right, excellent. Leova, why don't you give yourself a bit of an introduction?
Hi, I am Leova, and I am playing Alex. Alex has recently returned from a mission where he was able to avenge the death of his former companions by defeating the shambling mounds that was terrorizing the local populace. And he's feeling pretty good. He's sort of put aside some of his, a little bit of his past. He's looking a little more forward to the future and to protecting his friend, the Swordmaster. And it seems when people call Horo the Dragon's Horde, Norbert's the Dragon's Horde. Alex notices Norbert take a sly look over at him. Also a sort of Dragon's Horde, except this one a little more jangly, perhaps.
All right, excellent.
Also, I would say
Yeah.
Alex has spent the last little bit, actually, he spent a lot of time going in and out of the Arcanium Council building. He hasn't been spending as much time in this tavern of late, but when he has, he's been deep in a book rather than focused on his weaponry as previously.
All right, excellent. Let's turn it over to Lysana. I always struggle to pronounce your name. What is the best way to pronounce it?
Well, Lysana is my one on Discord, but my character's Serana.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Why don't you introduce yourself here, and I will work on making that better.
Her name is Serana Lorraine Danius, and she's not ever gone out in the mist before. She did participate in the arena, but she's only recently arrived from some land mysterious to the south. She's kind of almost got she's a young, idealistic mage and a very nice coach. She's well dressed, but she still kind of has Greener Wormtongue vibes. She said she was an advisor. She's a little bit doesn't walk very elegantly, and she's a sort of strange mage lady who seems like a nice person, if a little bit not a bold adventurer.
Well, excellent. We look forward to seeing Serana out in the mist and what strange adventures she may get up to. Excellent.
And probably her walking is made even more uncomfortable and weird by the new pair of shoes she's wearing.
Okay. We had a little bit of equipment swapping, it sounds like, before the session. Very good. Last but not least, we will turn it over to Jack Allen. Why don't you introduce yourself and your characters for us?
Yeah, I am playing Norcus, the druid. He recently got back from helping some dwarves, and he saw this posting. He's only been on 3 adventures, but the other adventure he went on, I believe he met the swordsman. So he is hoping to help that person out because they seemed very noble during his brief encounter with them.
All right. Well, the 4 of you have come together in opposition of a post that you see in the job board next to Rhymeview's local tavern. Here you can see plainly in Thieves' Cant, for those that can read it, an invitation to learn more about a kidnapping that has been placed upon the Orcish Swordsmaster that has been seen out in the land beyond the mist. and the four of you have come together to try to work in opposition to this notice. So, as the four of you have come together, what are the preparations that you would take part of here in town before looking to foil these dastardly Midnight Consortium people?
Well, one thing, in the days sort of after we find out about this and before we're going to set out, Serana had mentioned wanting to go to probably a couple of like the bookshops throughout town, perhaps maybe ask a little at the council, and she wanted to give us a sort of plausible cover for why we're leaving as an armed party. And she's a scholar who's recently arrived from the south, so I felt it was sort of conceivable that she's not really noted as a great inventor or anything, so she's going to look at some books on a strange ruin or magical phenomenon nearby or something, and maybe offhandedly mention to this shopkeeper or that, oh, I've acquired some guards and they're going to take me out and we're going to look into this phenomenon that's out there, and sort of not telling anyone specifically, but just little bit of slips of her preparation sort of leak out to the people she's interacting with. That, oh yes, I've got a company of guards and I'm a young idealistic scholar and we're going to go and investigate the thing.
Oh, very good. Okay, so you spend some time in the preceding days spreading this yarn about your investigations of the ruins. Many of the shopkeepers are intrigued and offer you advice and try to sell you many gizmos and gadgets that might help you survive. As you do this, go ahead and give me a persuasion charisma check as you make your way through the city spreading your tale. We'll see how well this tale takes.
Before you make this roll, we kind of had decided as a party that we were actually going to go through with this plan. So I think Serana has some funds to actually buy some of these gizmos and gadgets, buy rations for the road, buy an extra wagon wheel from the guy trying to upsell the extra wagon wheel he has laying in the back. So maybe with some coins spent and some parts acquired, she might have advantage on this roll.
Sure. How much coin are you spending to improve your roll?
I feel like if Alex gave her a bag of 50 gold, that should go a long way towards basic wagon supplies.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Especially for like
with 50 gold to grease palms and a clever tale. Go ahead and roll at advantage.
Would you hear a case for deception instead of persuasion? Because
I would absolutely allow you deception instead of persuasion.
And there we go.
All right. Do you want to fish for a second one here with advantage?
Yeah, then it's roll twice.
All right. A 13 is a fairly good roll, especially amongst the town of Rhymeview here. The shopkeepers are happy to take your money, and you get this tale beginning to diffuse through town. It seems maybe not common knowledge, but you've definitely set yourself up to have an excuse to be wandering outside the walls in the coming days. Awesome. Beyond this tale, is there anything else that the party was doing?
I would absolutely like to visit the Arcanium Council together with my lovely friend Leova. Others can tag along. I guess I can show Serana the library for the first time in the tower as well.
All right. You make your way through the city of Rhymeview up to the great tower that stands above the residential district. As you step inside, you can see the public-facing library, the small cubby holes for people to check out books and read and take notes or study. The small shop around the central staircase in the back with a glass counter. And the lovely Rose Nix, barefooted as always, with a fresh sprig of flower in her hair. That smiles at a good patron's entrance and the friends that he brings in. Nix Rose looks to the group of you and says, "Welcome back. It is always good to see you all. What can I and the Arcanium Council do for you all today?"
I am looking to ask you for a favor. You see my friend here, as I point towards Leova with a sword. I believe you met him quite a few times now. But
yeah, Alex does like a careful bow, making sure not to stab anybody in the process.
Yes, familiar with our man with the sword for an arm.
Indeed. Indeed.
Oh,
You see,
I'm sorry. Just 1 second. As we're talking, Alex, digs in his pack, pulls out a book, runs over to whoever it might be, like the attendant or a secretary or a little keeper, and just returns a book he had. He runs back. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. We
Please continue.
appreciate prompt return of the merchandise of the library. Yes, so you had something that you needed done.
exactly. You see Norbert trying to hide the book he checked out last time as Leova does that. You see, my friend here, he's trying to join our ranks. He's trying to join our ranks in the Arcanium Council as of the more arcane focus. Would it be possible for you to arrange a teaching lesson or a study? I don't know what to call it, but he would like to start with the basics of the basics, like a prestidigitation per se.
Are you looking to master the spell this moment, or are you looking more for the step-by-step entrance? We could just set you up with some of the younger members, a few of the more talented 8 and 9-year-olds. We could get you in a class every weekend. Or if you're looking for a more short-term strategy, we do have the ability to do that for a price.
Alex, kind of, straightens up a little bit, and he says, "If you don't mind, I would perhaps love to be able to partake in that magic now, and in exchange, I would happily help you teach those young, up and coming wizards. As someone myself," he says, and he detaches his arm. "I can be both entertaining and very safe."
I am sure that you would be quite entertaining. We have plenty of talented teachers here at the council already, though we do appreciate your offer.
Perhaps somebody bad at magic could make the kids feel better about themselves. Someone to look down on, as you might say. I don't mind.
I don't think that quite runs parallel with the values that we would like to instill in the young minds, but I appreciate your offer. Let me say this. You are, of course, good friends here with a trusted patron of the council. We could extend some spell learning services over to you to help boost your journey, jumpstart it into the world of the arcane. For some spell learning services of that nature. Oh, let me check a price here. I'll quote you a special one. And she begins to kind of flip through a little booklet underneath her desk that she pulls out in front of you, like a magic mage hand, just kind of lifting through the pages without her having to do it herself. And she tells you that for 75 gold pieces, a mage will take that spell and imprint it upon your mind.
Alex nods and says, "Of course, thank you very much." And he watches intently as she uses the mage hand and works the mage hand, and he watches how it interacts with the environment, trying to very carefully study what's going on, and then digs in his purse for 8 pieces of platinum. For 80 gold. Yes, 8 pieces of platinum. And says, "Here you are. Don't worry about the extra. Please use it to help fund additional books and components for the young ones."
We'll be happy to put it towards that. Thank you very much. And unfazedly, she slides the platinum into a coin purse beneath the counter. She bids you up into the tower, where you will meet with a couple of different mages that have you kind of sit in the center of an arcane circle, and they begin to draw the symbols of a basic cantrip inside the circle. It does not take very long, as the spell itself is not very complicated. They begin to use the spell and a little bit of their own magic, casting some permanency, and they go to place the spell in upon your mind. Eventually, after no more than probably 10 minutes or so of this ritual, you are able to cast the spell Prestidigitation.
Alex thanks him heartily, and then tries to do like he can't like snap his fingers, but he tries to press the data snap sound. And
Oh,
a
very
little pop goes through the room, and he smiles and looks around like, "Yeah,
good.
all right."
Yeah. I like it. Very cool.
He walks out just snapping his finger, snapping his finger. When he comes back to the party, he's just like, you might think he's got some kind of curse or enchantment, but he just seems like he's having the time of his life, snapping his finger, making little pops.
Very good. Very good.
I think that even if she's only just been in the foyer of the council tower, Serana is going to be very difficult to pry away from there. Like, she's always loved magic, she's a wizard, and like, her homeland didn't really have any great institutions of magic, and she's just like, like the Mage Handbook, she's just like, she doesn't want to leave the building. She's like, no.
Would you have come to watch the training? Would you have tried to sneak in?
I don't think she would have tried to sneak or like impose, but like if it sort of depends on like how like if it was more like you come back here, we're ushering her, she wouldn't have tried to, but like if it was in a semi-public area, she definitely would have watched.
All right. I think that you probably missed out then, because it would have taken place deeper into the tower in a cloister where the mages kind of do their own research and magics. But eventually you will have to be pried away from the tower as there is work to be done. Is there anything else that you'd like to take care of here in town, or do you have a plan for dealing with these Midnight Consortium folks?
Sorry, there's one more thing I would like to take care of in the tower. Well,
Oh,
probably Alex's character, Leova, is... Alex is learning his spell. Norbert is going to inquire about enchantment services in the tower.
Ah, I see. And what would you like to have enchanted?
He kind of taps his chest a little bit. My armor and my shield, he says, as he has
Your
the
armor
two lumps of
and
metal.
your shield. My, oh my. And what kind of enchantment would you prefer?
Glue.
Well-
Use them together. Make him a living armor shield. No coverage at all.
I already have a plan for that, but that's for another time. He's gonna bonk his shield at the beginning first, because he just learned the shield master feat from the sword master he's going to save again. And he's gonna say, is there any way to give this shield to make it stronger magically, give it a bonus to saves, etc. Or perhaps even making it into a sentinel shield.
Oh, well, we can't reforge the shield itself, but we can put light enchantments upon it. We could, of course, increase your ability to withstand the onslaughts of magics and the like. Such an enchantment would run you a hefty sum. Let me check my book again. As she replaces the book that she used to quote the gold pieces for the cantrip spell, and begins to leaf through it in much the same way. She goes through and says, for that it would be 150 gold pieces.
And I know my close companion and friend, the king of the arena, has made his spear rather than mechanically speaking, not +1, but a +2. Is that a possibility for armors and shields, or is that for weapons primarily?
She looks at the shield that you've brought to her. Says, I don't think this quite has the quality necessary to hold more than a single enchantment. I think that it would... The spell power would cause the metal to corrode, become brittle. You wouldn't find it as useful as you might desire.
Fair enough.
Am I in this room, or how deep in the place are they? Like,
the negotiations take place just kind of like at the glass counter in the main foyer, so you would presumably be around if you weren't perusing the library's kind of like public section.
I'll wait till Horror's done. I kind of jumped the gun there, but I do have a scroll case I want to ask him about. But
okay,
I'll wait.
Sure.
Yeah. And if that's the case, is it the same possible for my armor then, right?
Yes, indeed. We could potentially place a small enchantment upon your armor.
I'll take both then if possible.
Yes. Okay. That would run you 300 gold pieces,
Done and done. As I shake her hand, even
All
though
right.
she's probably not used to it.
please. That is a bit of a surprise. Yes. What's going on, Serana?
Oh, I was just wondering, I had a more mechanical question. With my 5 reputation, it says I can buy cantrip scroll. Can you learn a cantrip from them, or is that not how cantrips work? I'm a little unsure about how 5e works.
If you have space for cantrips, you could learn one from a scroll. Bear in mind there is a maximum number of cantrips you can know.
Is that the same as what it says in my class?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I've got them then. Sorry, I thought that might be how it works, but I figured there was no harm in asking. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. No worries. Um. Where was I at? Okay, so yes, so she will take away your armor and your shield after you pay the 300 gold pieces, and they will go back into the tower, much the same way that it was done for the spear. As an hour or so passes, a ritual takes place. Your shield will be enchanted to gain +1 to saves while it is being wielded. To saving throws, dexterity, strength, physical saving throws, constitution. And your armor will grant you a +1 AC.
Does it count for death saving throws?
No, death saving throws are separate.
Just want to ask that now before it became an issue later.
And just one more question, sorry. Same as my friend who we spoke to about with the spear, as Norbert is going to pull out some mines from a shambling mound. He says, I was looking to make these into a whip. And gift it to my lovely friend Norcus here, the lovely druid who cannot wear metal weapons. Is that a possibility? Is it possible to enchant this weapon for me?
It is indeed possible to craft that. We do not have crafters of such skill here on the mainland. I have heard if you have enough of an inn with the Whitewater merchants, you can send exotic parts to be crafted, but I unfortunately cannot offer such a service here at the Arcanium Council in Rhymeview.
I'm gonna give a thumbs up. Thank you. And I'm just gonna check out a book on good dragons. And just the history of dragons, I guess, in the area.
Okay. You check out a book on dragons, the history of dragons in the area as far as it is known. If you have time to consult the book, you will have advantage on one history, intelligence, or ability check related to dragons in the area.
Perfect.
And then before they leave the Arcadian Council, Alex wanted to stop by their gift shop and purchase a couple items. Okay. He wants to buy a fancy signet ring, as magically appearing as it is. If they have something that they sell with their own branding on it, like a big A with a little fire or something that they upcharge somebody out to wazoo for. So, oh, it's a ring. Oh, it could be a magic ring. You never know.
I think that you can absolutely find the Arcanium Council gift shop in an annex nearby, where the non-wizardly, non-magic folk go to buy trinkets and baubles that are definitely upsold. They get those little half lockets that say "best friends," that type of thing.
Yeah. Perfect. And actually, he also asked the guy for two other things. He wants to buy a component pouch. Also, of course, with their branding, he's willing to pay full street price for it. And he wants to get a arcane focus. He needs it to be relatively hands-free and light and compact because he kind of motions to his own, unusual physical circumstances. And then he points to the little best friend necklace and says, maybe that.
Yes, you for your magic initiate can buy a component pouch for street price, and yes, there will be a particularly fancy locket with the cracked heart that says best and friends. and you can use that as your magical focus. Absolutely.
Perfect, very much. Alex drops another bag of 50 gold on the counter, walks out wearing a bunch of bling, feeling great. Behind him, the shopkeep's thinking like, this guy just bought a component pouch and a focus? Rookie.
Yeah,
Schmuck.
exactly. No, that is exactly what's going through his mind. He's like, cha-ching! And he did it at the annex shop.
So he's getting a commission on it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think Savannah is like, she has the knowledge to know you don't need both, but she's an absolute pest and is like holding out like different things. Oh, try this. Oh, this goes with your eyes. Like she's so excited to have someone else passionate about learning about magic and like another new student. She's like, oh, try this book. She's like accessorizing with the foci and probably sees like a pen that doesn't run out of ink and just has like a breakdown. Like, do you know how much I spend every year on ink? It's different colors.
Yeah. You get the feeling that if you were to like walk over and offer to sell him like a wizard hat or anything like a flowing robe, he would instantly just give it to me, all the wizard things.
All right. Eventually, you pry our shopping obsessed friends away from the tower, I suppose. Is there anything else that you guys want to take care of here before we move on to a new scene?
I'm good.
All right. So you have spread some rumors about what you might be doing outside of town. You have shopped heartily at the Arcanium Council. What more? Excuse me. What is your plan for dealing with the Midnight Consortium? What is the idea that you have?
A part of it was to ask the Arcadian Council, I believe, if we could purchase an item of non-detection to give to the swordsman, just to give him some extra protection, just in case our plan to try and relocate him or protect him goes awry or has complications, or just a backup for afterwards.
If you ask specifically for a magic item of non-detection, it
Yes.
seems that somebody has recently purchased the entire stock of them. They are fresh out.
I see. Okay. I would ask the shopkeeper, perhaps. I'm trying to think of how I would phrase this to try and ask the question that we all know that we should be asking here. Yep.
As well as that, I will just make sure to give some sort of like, oh, well, I really wanted to get one, so can you let me know when you get more in stock? Just leave some sort of like, get back to me, so it's not like, we just need one for tomorrow. It's like,
Absolutely.
I just want
I would be happy to let you know as soon as we have more enchantments
Try to keep
available.
up with it.
Yeah.
Alex would stay after they leave and say, perhaps I could offer whoever purchased them a little extra to take so many potions or so many items off their hands. Clearly, this is way too many for probably one person to handle.
Well, if you find them, you feel free to make them an offer. We do live in a capital society, I'm sure, for the right price.
Alex jingles his own pocket and says, "Is there perhaps some information I could find under the desk here if I dropped a coin and went to look for it?"
Oh no, I'm sorry. You are not welcome behind the desk.
Alex nods, understanding the thing, and then he says, in Thieves' Cant, he says, goodbye, and then coughs for a second, tries to see if the guy recognizes the Thieves' Cant.
Nyx Rose just kind of is like, good.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is Nyx Rose?
Yeah, you're talking to the rep of the Arcanium Council. That is Nyx Rose.
Oh, apologies, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
That's unfortunate. They definitely thought ahead. Yeah.
Well, without the items of non-detection on your side, foiled perhaps by the forward thinking of the consortium or some other interested party, what else do you have planned wise for stopping this job from going down?
I believe that during our previous journeys, me and Leola have acquired a potion of clairvoyance. And
Ah,
as we know, where the meeting is happening, where the representative of the Midnight Consortium is going to reveal all the information he has on the Master for the potential people who are going to kidnap him, we would like to use the scroll, right, to scry that essentially.
The potion, yeah. Do you
The
have one
potion,
too?
sorry. I do not. I believe this is
Okay.
the only one that you have.
Got it. In that case, we would probably use it to listen. And if possible, we could have Norcus wild shape into a rat or a worm or a spider or something to have a second pair of eyes and ears in the room. Because we know
okay.
the time and the place, we can set up ahead of time. No one's going to notice a spider in a tavern.
All right. So you create you drink the potion. It is a potion with a floating eyeball in it. You drink it down, and as you do, for the next 10 minutes, in the range of 1 mile, you can create an invisible sensor to a place that you have visited or seen before. Um, the sensor will remain in place for the duration. And when you cast the spell, you can choose to either see or hear through this sensor. You can choose to sense through it as if you were in its space, and you can switch between seeing or hearing. As you create this, you have about 10 minutes. When I want to know, like, set the scene for how you're going to use that spell to spy on the meeting. Do you set it up at the exact time that the meeting is set to start? Do you try to wait a little bit? Do you see who's coming? Do you listen in only? Like, what is your plan on use of this spell?
I think I have a question. The wild shape, how long does it last?
I believe it's a number of hours equal to half my level, so it should be an hour and a half for me.
Okay. So as long as you're cool with the wild shape scout plan, right?
Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Right.
I want to talk about your
I'm
clairvoyance
asking
potion
Norcus if he's-
first.
Sorry, so I'm just asking the Norcus if he's okay with us.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay. So I was thinking we set up Norcus's wild shape a couple hours ahead of time because it'll last an hour or 2 hours?
Hour and a half. Or I guess it's like rounded down, so actually it's just 1 hour. It goes in increments of an hour.
1 hour. Okay. So we set you up about half an hour beforehand. That way, once you know the meeting is happening, you can already be there and kind of established. And then since we know the time, I can drink the potion about 2 minutes beforehand, and then I'll have 8 minutes worth of clairvoyance. Meanwhile, Norcus will have a half hour for extra before and after. Does that seem like a logical plan?
Sounds good.
I mean, there's going to be greetings and people meeting up. I would suggest casting actually like 4 or 5 minutes after the deadline. Like if it's at 10 o'clock or something, just cast it like 10:05 or 10:06 is what I would suggest. But
Makes sense, because we'll have Norcus there anyway for the hearing and the listening. And wild shaped, he can still understand everything. He just won't be able to talk as Spider, so he'll be able to give us the full details of their conversation. What languages speak Norcus?
I speak Common, Elvish, Giant, and Sylvan. So if there's like an old Fae representative, I'd understand them likely, but I won't understand Thieves' Cant.
That's perfect, because about halfway through the discussion, someone that does know Thieves' Cant will be able to tune in. So we should be able to pick out at least some of what's going on. Worst case scenario.
All right. So, with that plan in action, let's go back to you drinking that potion. So you're going to set up your sensor a few minutes into the designated meeting time, a bit after midnight, I believe it is for this one. And as you approach about a mile away from the lucky few and set your sensor up, do you set it up to see the participants, to hear them only? Do you try to switch between? What is your plan there?
My plan is to first start with a visual and see what's there, and then basically immediately tune to audio. And if I hear like a door open or a strange new voice, I'll flip over to channel 3 to get the picture, and then back to channel 2 to get the audio. I'll have 10 minutes. I'll have 10 minutes worth of conversation. 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 5 minutes, a good chunk of conversation. So I'll be able to quickly go back and forth at some point when someone pauses speaking and to not miss anything.
Leo, as you drink this potion, there are wards set up against scrying in the lucky few. What I want from you is an Arcana check against these wards. Go ahead and do that plus your spellcasting modifiers. You are now a magic initiate.
Yes, sir. I will roll my Arcana. I am not proficient in Arcana, unfortunately, but I'm doing my best. I'm learning. I'm trying.
Okay.
So we'll see how this goes. I don't think I have the.
Who'd we lose?
Lost Norcus?
Oh, Norcus.
Did someone step on him? Oh no, somebody stepped on him in the bar. Oh.
All right. Well, go ahead and give me that roll, and we will get Jack in here as soon as we can.
Right.
I'm sure he will be back shortly.
Don't think I have anything that would modify an Arcana roll, but I did want to take a glance just in case.
Okay.
This is a lot going on there.
That is an 8. All right.
No,
so what happens when you start peering in is you see a shadowy meeting, like a group of figures. You think that there are about 5 in the meeting. The 4 of the hooded figures are wearing these dark, long robes that abscond their whole body in shadow. You can barely get a look at their face, and as your eye opens in the sensor, you can see the 5th member of that almost subtly stand in front of your eye, blocking the vision in.
As that happens, and I feel my magic failing, I fumble at my belt for anything even remotely magical, and I remember I have a potion of psychic resistance. Can I make an intelligence check to see how dumb of a plan that is, and if it'll do anything to help me maybe get a reroll on this or something?
No, I think that you're pretty aware that your potion won't help you, but maybe it feels good to hold it at your side for a moment. You switch over to some of the language and the talking, and it is in a thieves' cant that you can indeed hear. And they are talking in hushed tones, and they whisper. You get this piece of information. Each of them are holding items of non-detection, so they cannot be easily scryed upon after leaving this area. And they have been given those items by the proprietor. Their goal is to head out into the north of Rhymeview, as there is a certain part of the forest that the swords master is hiding out in, and it can be there's a map that they are referring to the north. And you try to see, but they're pointing at the map, and they keep making mention of this place in the woods to the north. And they say that they must get the job done in the next couple of days while he's still recovering from a previous injury. Otherwise, they might be unable to make the job happen. There is an item that is handed between them, and then hushed tones says, "This should be more than enough to capture a stalwart warrior like him, as long as you can, bait him into it." And after a while, the audio kind of dissipates. Your your clairvoyance sensor comes to an end, and you fade out of the room.
Did I hear them mention any proper nouns or names or places like Thorn Rest or specifically?
No, they seem very careful to avoid proper names. Yeah.
Perhaps like a beach city or salty hellhole, any sort of something that might refer to a certain place.
No, they seem to be very careful not to make reference to specific names.
And could I tell anything about them in terms of like male, female, young, old, gruff, soft?
The voices are gruff and hard. They have a lot of like baritone to them. They sound like people who have worked the docks, worked the kind of like harder places here in town. They don't sound particularly noble or royal or posh. They sound like people that have worked their laborers and people who probably have led harder lives here in the city, or at least have taken the affectation of those types of people.
And did I recognize the person addressing them? Perhaps I might assume it would be a slightly softer voice than all the thugs and workers that have come by.
Go ahead and give me an insight check. Yes, in fact, the man who stepped in front of your sensor wore a wide-brimmed hat that you may or may not have seen down by the docks. Seems to be always smiling around there. No one's quite sure what he does for a living, but he is well liked.
And what have I known or seen about him before? You say he wears a wide-brimmed hat. Does he wear workers' clothes, robes, nobles' clothes?
Just your general laborer's clothes. Let's see.
And does he travel with like an entourage, or he's only by himself?
Just himself. Just himself. A man with a wide-brimmed hat and an even wider smile who can be found around the docks of Rhymeview. No one is sure what his job is, but he is well liked by everyone. Rumors have it, if you are in a bind, he might help you out in exchange for a favor.
Is that somebody that I should know? Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I recall seeing that in the thing, but I have not met this person before, as I recall. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, Sayrana, go ahead. I see you just like edging to ask a question.
No, sorry. I'm trying to work out I've got a lot of things going in my head that I want to prepare, but I'm not. Please continue. Sorry, I don't think you've even told Sayrana all this yet.
All right.
Okay, no worries. Okay.
So.
And then, sorry, do I hear them discuss where to go after? Bring him here, take him somewhere else.
Yes. It is to be returned to the tavern here at midnight.
At some midnight within the next 2 days.
Yes, within the next 2 days, return to the lucky few at midnight.
Okay. Interesting.
Sorry, do you mind me asking something? I'm not there. Obviously, we don't have the information yet. But in this world, how is it looked upon, like prisoners and slaves, etc.? Is it like a open season? Are people like being, brought to the city in shackles, or is he gonna be like brought inside a magic item or something?
I don't think that there are any slaves in the Land Beyond the Mist world. There's not a common practice or a thing that you see. You wouldn't just like be seeing a man in shackles unless perhaps he was being escorted by a constable, perhaps as a prisoner, or has done some misdeed.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as the sensor disappears, I want to turn to Jack Allen. Jack, Norcus. As you approach the Lucky Few Tavern, you wanted to turn into a small animal of some kind in your wild shape form and get a perch somewhere to see and listen. I want you to tell me, A, what type of animal you are turning into, and how it is you go about getting a good view of this conversation that's happening.
I think I would do a teeny spider, and I would, if it said it was midnight, was when they meet, or 10?
Midnight.
Midnight. Yeah. So I would head, near the Lucky Few, like half an hour before 10, and I would, go in an alleyway, wild shape into a teeny spider, and then over the course of a minute, probably, or even longer, it would take me to go like the single block to the Lucky Few. In my spider form, I would want to, just crawl along the walls, and try to see if there's like a window ajar to enter the Lucky Few.
Okay. Yeah, you begin wandering around the walls looking for a windowsill that might allow you access or to squeeze under a door. As you creep in, go ahead and give me a stealth dexterity check to remain hidden from detection here. I will give you advantage for your small form and the attempts of your party to scry upon this building.
Roger that. Stealth.
Would he roll with spider's dexterity or his own?
Oh, yeah, I would have the spider.
You would use the spider's dex. Yep. You use your
Like
own mental abilities and you use your form's physical capabilities.
This is good. The spider has a +4 to stealth.
Excellent.
This is an advantage.
Yes, indeed.
That is a modified 19.
That is a 19. Excellent. You sneak your way into like a windowsill and you perch there with your little spider antennae tuned to the conversation. Your 8 or so beady eyes glancing in all directions. It takes some time to get used to seeing this way, but you figure it out. You do not make much out of the people inside the building more than Alex got from his brief view from the sensor of the clairvoyant spell. You do get a good look at Irzur, the man of the wide-brimmed hat, and you will recognize him readily from the kind of, I was going to say the shores of Rhymeview, but the docks in the labor district of Rhymeview. And as you watch and listen, you see these people enter the Lucky Few draped in deep hoods and cloaks, and as they are wordlessly handed cards and a small package. Until there are 5 of them standing kind of around a main table. It then continues to seem very, or to play out very much the same way that Alex saw. The men stand and point at this map, and they talk about a place to the north. They talk about how they have these items of non-detection, that they must get this job done in the next couple of days. But after about 10 minutes or so from that discussion, you will see the wide-brimmed hat look back behind him, kind of wave his hand, and in a like cheerier voice says, "Now that prying eyes are out of the room, let us turn our attention to the east here." And he will point to a map and will show a small lake east of the cursed ruins of the like near the Heaven's Pillar in the forest beyond. And he says, "We have good and reliable information that the Swords Master has been sighted here, resting up from his previous attack. We are going to need you to infiltrate this lake quickly, as I am sure that there will be more of his students and teachers returning to his aid. Our employers are quite desperate to have him removed from the equation. If your attempts to capture him using the device granted are to fail, then you are authorized to end the Sword Master's life. Do not bother bringing him back here. We will send a team to the north to intercept whoever must be listening in to us. Do not worry about them. Now, if you are to capture him, there is a rendezvous point directly south through the forest. There is a small cave, and they kind of point at the map again, and they say, here your employers, or our employers, will be waiting to take the Swords Master off your hands. If you fail and need slay him, do not worry about bringing proof. When the deed is done, it shall be known."
Sorry,
could
where
I
on the
make
map are you rendezvousing?
a rendezvous south to a cave?
Okay.
Greg, could I make an insight check when both times it's mentioned, if they can't take him alive, that it's okay. It's okay to kill him.
Uh-huh.
Could I try to insight check the reaction of these 5, roguish people around the table?
Sure.
Try to insight check. Are they do they seem like scared of fighting this guy, or do they? I guess I'm trying to by one degree of separation how strong they are. Do they quiver at the idea of having?
Yeah, you want a vibe check? I got
Mhm.
you. Go ahead and roll me an insight here. A 17. These 5 seem quietly confident. They don't appear to be worried. But they do not appear to be overly uncautiously sure of themselves. This is a job. They are the ones that are good at doing this type of job. They are up to it. There's a confidence that comes with having success. But they seem well matched for the task at hand.
Roger that. And do I see the item that is being referred to being able to capture him?
Yes, you did a good job of sneaking in here to get a good look at it. It appears to be some kind of twisted metal, almost ball. It appears to be very large. It is probably 3 to 4 feet in circumference, and it has strange inscriptions in the metals.
Unsettling. I think that's all that really comes to Norse's mind. He's probably a little bit scared of these cold-blooded killers. They seem very able. So I think that he wouldn't push his luck, and he'd get ready to skedaddle out of there, however spy this move.
Okay, absolutely. You skedaddle out of the window and back into town before returning to your Norcus abilities and back to the party.
Yeah, I Norgus has a very bad headache as he has to like pretty much just cover his eyes for a while. As he's going from having 8 different pictures of the same thing side by side. However, spiders see.
Sarah will offer you some of her like nice peppermint tea and try to help.
Well, Norgus will love some tea, and he will recount all of that. And so, yeah, these seem like some pretty serious professionals. They had all the magic items they could need, and seemed not scared, and just all about business at the prospect of assassinating the legendary swordsman.
There are some inquiries I would quite like to make, based off what you've observed. Do any of you have more sway with the council? Perhaps think you could get me an hour in their library?
What do you need it for?
I'm sure you could have spent a little bit of time in the library while we were all doing shopping and trading earlier, yeah?
Well, there are things now I'd like to look into based off what we've learned.
Oh, yeah.
The ball.
Yes. and one other thing, but yeah. So
Do you
is
think
that,
an hour would be enough for you? Because they said they're making haste that direction.
Yeah, we kind of need to go as fast as possible, I think, because it's basically a day and a half travel from here, and they were told to do it within the next 2 days. So it's got to get done basically ASAP. If they dawdle, they're going to incur the wrath of the Thieves Guild, and they probably don't want to do that. So they're likely going to go to a tavern, drink around the drinks, and then get their ass on the road.
in that case, can I?
Sorry.
I was going to ask about the non-detection items. I read the non-detection spell, and it says it prevents divination. I have the alarm spell, which is abjuration. Will it still work against that?
Ooh, that's an interesting thought. Sure. It sounds like it should work. Yeah.
So my alarm won't pick them up?
No, I think your alarm would pick them up, is what I meant to say. I think the difference being the alarm senses like physical presences around you, right? So I think it would.
And I had one more. So if Serana consults her spellbook and pulls out what she knows of magic, if I was to, for example, like take a coin and smear some of my blood on it and let them find it, and I tried to scry on my own blood there, would that get through non-detection, or are they still going to be protected from scrying in that case?
That's clever. I don't know. Give me an Arcana check, and we'll see. I'm gonna say beat a 13, and that would work. You have the skill to do that. Yeah. If you can find a way to scry on something that's not theirs, like something that you own or is personal to you, then yes, I think that would work.
I will point out to the party that I don't know how many of those potions you have. I'm certainly not skilled enough in Mage to do it on my own, but... Sorry.
Alex looks to his potion belt and points out the one little slot that's now empty, along with a variety of other different potions that look nothing like the one that he just drank down and shakes his head. Sorry, just had the one. We can maybe see if the council or the merchants have one for sale available, maybe something in the back.
I will be quite honest. I do believe we should be on our way rather than trying to look for more magical means of tracking these people. They obviously already have items that prevent that.
Greg, can I if we don't have time to check the library, Serana I think would still like to just pour through what she's learned. She's proficient in Arcana and history, and she's a scholar in her background, so I think she's fairly well knows a lot of things. And I don't know, the description to me kind of sounded a little like Cerulean or something. So could I sort of try to follow that?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're your audio cut out when you were telling me what it sounded like. What was that?
It sounded a little reminiscent of like Bands of Cerulean or something. So can Serana sort of try to think like through spells she knows, items she knows, and try to sort of puzzle out maybe get a sort of general idea of what this thing might do?
Absolutely. Let's see. What do I want for your like intelligence there? You're trying to puzzle out the use of that ball specifically as it relates to the bands. I go ahead. You rolled me a 22 on your Arcana check before. Yes. I think I won't make you roll. I will just give you the information that you might know. Indeed, this ball does kind of reminds you of that item, the bands. I always have trouble pronouncing the thing. It's the bands of Cerulean, I think you called it. It will ensnare or encapture, binding and restraining a humanoid inside of them, not allowing them to take action while they are inside of it, and making it essentially a great tool for capturing opponents, even if they are quite powerful. You know that it is, magical in nature, and so it is quite difficult to break out of. But it is a item that requires some amount of effort to get right. Either hiding it, or somehow making somebody get ensnared in it is the easiest way. Just hurling the bands at somebody has a failure rate that is difficult to deal with.
Damn, that's hardcore. I don't know what magic I was expecting, but that's crazy. Yeah, there can be crazy.
Are we right to move on to buying our provisions and supplies then?
I think there was a question of whether or not we want to grab some horses and horse it at top speed to beat out these thieves.
How much are horses?
We would need, for maximum speed, to go riding horses, 75 gold each for 60 feet of speed.
I can buy myself one, but I won't be able to contribute anything to our provisions or anything. Then, like, I have enough, but only just.
Yeah, Norbert and I should be able to afford the horse shenanigans, but as long as you guys are okay with doing it.
I mean, yeah, it's pricey, but I think it makes sense based on the information we have. I've got 178 gold, so I can buy one.
I think all of us can afford a horse in that case.
Perfect. Now we had established that Sirana was out doing I'm doing a caravan thing.
Do you guys want to buy a horse, or do you just want to do a forced ride travel?
I haven't actually looked up the forced travel mechanic.
It only will cost you 10 GP per character that must rent a horse from the guilds. Doesn't require you to buy your own horse.
Downside is we get -5 to our checks, which would cause us problems, and it's 6 hexes away, so would unfortunately not cut our journey by a day.
So if you don't go with that, then even buying horses, you'll still be walking or riding. Right? The buying horses and not doing a forced ride will not increase your speed to the destination. Just pointing that out.
Oh, for some reason, I thought riding was a faster speed. I now see that that's the same speed. Okay.
I think we should just buy supplies and just move normally then. Not fast, not slow. Just beeline to master,
yeah,
essentially.
We have the benefit that they think we're going somewhere else.
Well, no, we spied on them, and during your meeting, they specifically said we're going to send another team to take care of the people that spied on us.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that they think, yeah. I mean, it's still bad, but
yeah. In theory, we could sail there. It would still take 2 days if we go the long way by boat. But if we hustle with the winds,
I think it's going to take exactly the same amount of time, but cost us about 300 gold pieces extra. I think we just walk there.
Sailing is 25 per character, and it'll give us an advantage on our checks, if that's a reasonable way to go.
I think I'll let you guys decide.
That
but I think we
seems
should just book it.
silly in metagaming. I think we just book it. Yeah.
Norris would say last time he went out, he did take a boat, and it was great. But I mean, we can also just pull the trigger, go to the tried and true rations, and hoof it on foot.
If it seems like we're going to be behind schedule, we can always divert to the cave, the secondary location. We'll have more time.
That's true.
The cave, we would need to clear it out once and then lay an ambush for a second round, which could leave us pretty low on resources. I think it's best to go for the master first, and if we don't find the master, if they already took him, we just go to the cave and go from there.
I did.
But, yeah.
I did actually want to stop by a cartographer shop.
Okay.
I'll go in and be like, hi, and Sarah's proficient in it, so I think she'll try to talk to the storekeeper and be like, oh, you've got lovely maps, and, talk for a little bit, and definitely seeding more of her story about, oh, we're going out to investigate something. Can I buy a map of this sort of local area?
Sure. Absolutely.
How much would that
let's see. A simple map of the local area. We'll call it 5 gold pieces.
Wonderful. And then I definitely want to, probably not like right now, but as we're like traveling and stopping for lunch, I think Sarana's going to be poring over that and trying to, like, she's proficient with that. I think she's got cartography and navigation. I think she's very good with like maps and stuff. So I think she's keeping an eye out for any like, oh, if I was a bunch of thieves trying to ambush people following us, this is exactly where I'd do it. So I think she's going to try to sort of keep an eye out. Like, I know I can't really like mechanically increase like travel speed or anything, but I want to try to avoid any particular like that area looks like an absolute death trap. We're going this path, sort of contingency.
Absolutely, that sounds good. Sounds like you're going to be doing some scouting during the travel phase. I like it.
No, I was gonna not travel roll. I was more trying to just do like a. I think Sarana is in charge of the supplies.
Well, your trick with the maps would be a great way to try to avoid pit stops and things of like that nature that would slow down your travel or might cause you to get ambushed or something. So it's a great idea. I think that you can absolutely do this, and you can buy provisions instead. That's okay.
You can maybe show it to whoever's doing the actual guiding.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I have your plan correctly, just as an overall. So your idea is to hoof it to the Swords Master's location before the assassins get there, so that you can warn him and then like fend them off, or are you trying to intercept them along the way, or are you trying to get there like after that they've already like made their play and then free him?
What we're going to try and do is we're going to try to get there before they get to the master and try to relocate him to a safe area. Probably bringing him back to Rimview would be a good idea. Get him to work in Cold Iron or something, helping adventurers learn feats and whatnot in exchange for safety and security.
Okay.
Yep. We also, if we get a chance, we might ask him what this is all about before we start running again with him in tow.
Sure. So the goal is to get there ahead of time.
Yeah.
So let's have you guys make us some travel rolls then. It sounds like it is time. As midnight comes and goes, you are on a clock. You stop by a cartographer who's open very late. Seems he likes some stars in the night, and you buy a small map from him. Happy to make a purchase or to make a sale this late at night. And you begin to hoof it outside of town, rushing your way ahead of these assassins as best you can.
Before we leave, I haven't. I don't know how many supplies we're buying. Like, I thought we were doing like a shopping.
Sure. So before we leave entirely, Serena, you want to be provisioner for the journey. So we'll say that the day before you left on midnight, you are a prepared group of adventurers. You spent some time building your crew's supplies up, water, skins, food, the things you'll need for the journey.
And
I'm sorry?
I was going to say, I also wanted to grab. I had listed, like we were talking in the chat. I wanted to get like a travel cloak, just a disguise for him. Just not a disguise, but like a new outfit, like the traveling clothes.
Absolutely, yeah. Traveling clothes probably gonna run you about just 4 or 5 gold pieces for a whole like set of clothes. I think that's the standard price in the book.
It's 2, I think.
Is it 2? Okay, then it'll run you 2 gold pieces. Perfect. For your provisioning, however, you're going to have the opportunity to make a choice. As the pack rat travel rations cost 1 gold piece each. You'll need 1 for each of your party members for each day of your journey, as well as a water skin that will come with it. So altogether, that'll be 7 pounds of food and water, and it'll cost 1 GP per person. How many days of rations would you like for your trip out to the east? You know that you are traveling based on what Leova's or what not Leova, what Norcus's information gave you to be this lake over here, which is about if we look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hexes away from Primeview.
How many days roughly is that, Jewel?
If you are walking, that is a little bit less than, or a little bit more than 2 whole days of travel, I believe.
2 days there, 2 days back for 5 people because we want to get supplies for if we've got to wait or if we bring the swordmaster. So 5 times 4 is 20 units of rations. Is that correct?
Let's. Okay. Sirata, I was gonna suggest if, let's say there's 4 of us, and we also have a mule that's 4.5 gold per day, right? If my math is correct.
Yep.
4 plus mule. If we buy 8 days of rations, that gives us some leeway if we have to go to the caves and whatnot. That's 36 gold pieces. How does that sound to you?
8 days of rations for each person.
Yes. That's 36 gold total for 4 of us plus the mule.
Sure, yeah, I can get. So that's 8 times 4 is 36. So that's 36 rations, right, to keep track of?
Yes. Yeah. You could essentially 32 rations, 36 in total if you count the ones for the mule. Yep.
36 rations, that'll cost 36 gold, and you guys can bear the weight, right?
I can carry everything. I'm literally a Sherpa, so.
Yeah, and Alex has his mules packed with goods and sundries too. He can carry some on there as well.
Serana will.
And Norbert's carrying most of it.
Serana will keep track with the ledger, but she's definitely not carrying. She's
Very good. Okay.
Labor. So that's. I will pay 36 gold.
Okay.
That's. Minus.
That's
Right,
8
okay.
days of food for us.
I have afforded that. Supplies have been bought, and we've got traveling clothes. And 2 gold. There wasn't any. Did you want to? I know we mentioned in the chat getting like caltrops or something for if we had to try to fortify it, or did you want anything like?
Yeah, me and Norbert and the rest of you guys had discussed that, I believe. If it's possible, we could buy some caltrops.
Mm-hmm. You can buy caltrops for book price.
Can I buy 2 traps as well?
Yes, you can buy bear traps from the book at book price.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
What else was there?
How much weight is the 36 rations? I just want to be on the safe side.
That is going to be 5 pounds times 8 is 40, and then it's going to be I believe 2 pounds times 8 is 16, so 56 pounds for just you, the party members, and then 10 times 8 is 80 pounds for your pack animal.
Yep, that's perfect. I can do that, I believe.
And then Alex will also buy just a common cloak for a swordsman in case we need to travel with him to give him some coverage.
I've got supply. I've got an outfit for him.
I think that Serrana already got that.
Sounds good.
And just before we leave, one last prep thing. I would like to give Norkis a little pearl of power and say, if I go down in combat, this is specifically to bring me back.
Nice.
How does it work? Is it just a pearl of power?
Yes, essentially you use an action to regain one of the spell slots you have, and then you can just cure, not cure light wounds, but healing word me if I go down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
So the rations and purchasing and shopping went down the day before. You guys are ready to go, and you set out to rush to your location ahead of time. It is about 11 hexes away. You decided that you're just going to walk there. So that's going to be about 4 hexes of travel per day. You're going to get there in about 3 days.
Well, we're gonna run. We're gonna book it. We're gonna power walk. We're gonna hustle.
Okay, so you're gonna do a forced ride. Mechanically, you can go 4 or 5 hexes. One will cost you money.
I think because it's 11 hexes away, right? There's literally no point to do it because it's still a 3-day journey.
Yeah, no,
like
mechanically
10,
walk,
yes.
but like thematically we power walk.
All right. Excellent. So you're walking there. Perfect. That's gonna be about just a bit more than a 2-day journey. Who is going to be our scout and our guide and our lookout for the journey?
Norbert is the guide.
Oh, and one thing I should note. I assume everyone has it available for their spells or whatever, but if not, we make sure we have components for Featherfall specifically, just in case.
Sure.
Yep. For the roles, I think we were going to have Serrana was a provisioner. I think Norkis was going to be the guide.
Norbert is the guide. Sorry, Norbert is the guide. Jack is the scout, and Leo is the lookout.
Oh, no, not Norkis. Yeah, Norbert. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Guys, I'm gonna call for a quick break here. My head is hurting me. I'm gonna need to get some Advil and like a soda or something. Sorry about that. I'm gonna get a quick break, and then I'm gonna be. We'll come back on the other side, and we'll do our travel and see if you guys can catch some sneaky assassins out to get your swords master. I will be back soon, everybody.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Hello, Internet. Welcome back to Land Beyond the Mist. I apologize for the quick break there. I needed to get up, but we are back and ready to jump into our travel phase of the adventure today. So, with our rolls straightened out and shopping done, you are in a race to beat these dastardly Midnight Consortium people to the location that they are trying to get to. And you are walking there yourself. Rather than doing this the way we normally do, where we check for encounters along the way and we narrate your journey. Instead, we're going to see how quickly you can get to the destination. If you succeed on enough of your rolls, then you will successfully arrive at your destination, beating your enemies there. If you fail enough of your rolls, then you will not. So, Serrana, you are our provisioner, but you also had a clever idea involving maps. and you had an idea about checking them to make sure that there was locations in your mind that there might be an ambush or a location to kind of take somebody out that we would avoid. Why don't you give us a map tools proficiency check using either wisdom or intelligence? I am happy to give you either one of them, and we will see how successful you are at avoiding those types of pit traps. A 16! A very good start, yes. So on your journey, Serana is out there pointing out locations to avoid, trying to make your track as quick as possible, trying to avoid pit stops as you go. Our guide, Norbert, you're responsible for making sure that the journey itself isn't too difficult as you are racing through this unknown land. Describe to me how you're gonna stave off the the tribulations and trials of this journey as you race through the lands out here beyond the mist.
Yeah, Norbert is from these lands. He knows these forests like the back of his palm, right? So what he's doing, and he's such a strong man, he's trying to put all the pressure on himself. He's carrying the heavy supplies. If he sees any creatures or anything approaching the party, he just looks at them like, not right now, go away. And he's just putting all the burden on himself to get the party moving and going.
Mm-hmm.
He's just pushing through.
Okay, yes, you try to pick up the slack as best you can. Go ahead and give me a strength athletics check here to take upon the burdens of the journey to your own person rather than to your party.
Because I'm a wanderer, would that be with advantage? Or no?
Please, yes, go ahead and do so at advantage. And I will tell you your DC here. Let me look it back up. What is you as a guide? Oh, that's a 22. You're going to succeed. That is high enough for sure. Go ahead and mark inspiration, of course, for your guiding, as succeeding checks will always give us that. Serana, this isn't normal for the pack rat, but go ahead and mark inspiration for your cartography check as well. So we have a 16 and a 22. You guys are getting, ushered through the forest while Norbert is just carrying an enormous backpack full of all of your gear, out racing the mule, knocking aside trees and bushes and rocks, keeping the path as clear as possible. Norcus, your job as the scout, while you are racing through this journey, walking, but doing so as quickly as you can, says Leova. Your job is to essentially make sure you don't get lost or stuck or broken down. Serana's looking out for locations where you might get ambushed, but your job is to make sure you don't end up in the wrong spot. Please describe to me your efforts to make sure the party doesn't get lost or broken down during this chase.
Yeah, I rely very much on my intuitive survival skills. Nothing learned in a book. As I'm making sure we don't get lost. I'm checking that we're not going in circles. That these if we have to go through a wooded area, I make sure that it gets more sparsely wooded as we are reaching the other side. Or I'll follow the river to keep us from getting lost. I very much rely on my survivalist skills as a druid.
Okay, absolutely. Go ahead and give me a survival wisdom check then. As the scout, your DC for this mission is going to be DC 14.
And I have the wanderer background, so this is at
wonderful.
Advantage.
Excellent. That is a success. Go ahead and mark inspiration for me. For your continued success, your party will not get lost or lose time as you race to where you are going. Lastly, Alex, you are the lookout. While this journey, this madcap, race to beat your adversaries to their mark, your job is to make sure that you don't get ambushed or run into any dangers on the journey that might hinder you. You're gonna get advantage on this roll because of Serana's use of the cartography and the maps. But go ahead and describe to us your efforts to keep a sharp lookout during this race to the Swords Master.
So I think Alex, knowing thieves can't, it might be on the lookout for occasional markings left behind for paths that, if they had been in the area before, somebody might have left. Hey, sharp bushes over here, big pit over there, something like that.
Okay. All right. Sounds like
Might take
you're
a look at.
keeping as sharp an eye out as you can, especially for markings left by other people. Go ahead and give me a
Mhm.
perception wisdom check then. You're going to be at advantage, of course, and the DC for you will be 14 as well.
Okay.
That is a success with a 22. Please mark
I think
inspiration for your successful looking out.
Yeah, I think
You
most of Piranha's not fault, but like result of this. Because Alex on his own probably got 10, but with her map, kind of
mm,
gently like reminding him that hey, you shouldn't be looking to the east of the trees, you're looking to the west of the trees to make sure that we get good directions. He's
mhm.
able to get that success.
Excellent, excellent. Um, so go ahead and mark that inspiration. You share the credit for sure with the successful map usage, but you are not going to be surprised or waylaid. For the success, though, go ahead and roll me a d6 for any discoveries you might make along the way.
Perfect. It says that we get an extra discovery roll. Do you make one? I
That
make
is
one, or should I
what
make
you're
two?
rolling right now.
Perfect. Okay. Awesome. D6. You say. Let's see. A 4.
No, unfortunately, you do not find anything else. Perhaps it is because you are trying your best to beat your opponents to where they must go. It is a little bit more than a 2-day journey usually, but your crew was successful across the board, reaching 4 successes to no failures on the journey. You race here and you arrive at a forested grove right in front of a small lake sometime before midnight of your second day's journey. You find yourselves sweat beaded and tired, but feeling quite accomplished for having raced this far. And you see yourselves looking upon a little pond, almost like you know how lakes have the big lake, but then sometimes smaller bodies of water will form nearby. There is a particularly interesting body of water near this lake, upon which you see the camp of the swordsmaster. It is a almost pond like full of algae and green plants, the like lily pads growing in it, and the camp is laid out on the north side, sitting kind of in a like cross-legged position is the sword master. He seems to be talking with one of his students and drinking like a tea that seems to be like soothing to him. And you can see bandages and slings across both him and much of his students. I will show you a small kind of image of the camp. It would look something like this to all of you as you approach it.
As we approach, as we had discussed before, heading out, Alex will use a rally on Seirana, since it will last basically the whole day.
Uh-huh.
Oh, of course, 2 temporary hit points. Nice.
I will also cast Mage Armor on myself now that we've arrived.
Sounds good.
As you approach from the south, this is what you see: this large kind of green algae-like lake in the middle of the this like a forest, and the larger lake lies behind them. There are mats laid out where you see sets of these scouts are eating, like breaking bread, kind of kneeling on the mats. And the wounded master just kind of sits cross-legged at the edge of the waters, watching you all approach.
Um, As we're approaching, I just want to ask, I have personally, as Norbert, spent at least a couple of days with the Master. Leova has as well. Have
Uh-huh.
we learned of his name, or have we always referred to him as Master?
Do you know his name? Like, do you have it written down? Because it sounds to me like you might
I
not remember it.
I don't believe it. One was given to us. That's
All
why I'm
right,
asking.
perfect. Then it sounds like you know him as the master.
In that case, we will approach with the greeting of, "Hello, friend. Has been a while."
As you approach, the swordsmaster kind of looks up from his position, cocks a head in recognition, and waves them over. Waves you over, speaking some words to the elf sitting next to him.
As part of the greeting, I apologize. Alex will rally upon the swordmaster as well.
Okay, excellent.
As he does that, while Norbert, sorry, while that's happening, while he's rallying and like greeting him, in such a way that bolsters his health, Norbert is gonna yell from like a couple 100 feet away, or 100 feet away from across the lake, like, "Master, you're in danger. We need to move."
Did we lose Jack again?
Yes.
Okay. The master just sits there still. He waved you over forward, and an elf will come to greet you from across this little algae-like pond. And they will say, "You are bid to enter and be welcome in our camp. Take it as an honor. Many are not bidden the same graciousness."
I will reply that we are graced to be here.
Mm-hmm. You say we are in
Okay.
danger. She makes a gesture back towards the obviously injured swordsmaster. We believe me, we are aware. And as you walk kind of around the water's edge, she spins a tale of the water's kind of healing properties. She says, this particular part of the lake, separate from the main body, is particularly blessed in the ways of healing and of like natural growth. Says it is so full of life inside of it because of this. The algae blooms, the toadstools grow large, the fish grow healthy and enormous inside of it. And they are spending some time here to regain health from an attack before moving on into their.
Oh, tell me, my fellow student, this water, is it to be bathed in, or is it to be drank from?
They nod their head and say either. It is known to be a most soothing bath to be bathed in. Though we make an herbal tea from its waters, it seems to be particularly potent in the ways of regaining your own constitution.
Norbert has 2 empty water skins from himself and 6 from his party members. Could I just fill up 8 water skins with the water?
Sure. Yeah, you can do that.
As she's discussing this, does it take more than 10 minutes?
To walk around the edge of the lake and talk? Probably not. But it does take some time. It is a large kind of body of water, even though it's not the main lake itself. It's you have to walk maybe a quarter of a mile kind of around the outside of it, so a few minutes at least.
Okay. In that case, Alex will kind of basically immediately get the vibe that they're not going to want to leave this, maybe not holy lake, but this protected lake at least not right away. They're going to need to sit here. So I think our plan of immediately moving him is not going to be an option, unfortunately. So he's going to try and take a short rest if possible and relax while she's explaining things.
Okay. Yeah. You spend some time resting up with the elves themselves, and you are brought there. You can see that there are a couple of them breaking bread on mats on the outside. You can sit and eat your rations with them and swap stories of the swords master's teachings and how difficult they are sometimes to work with.
Sounds good. He will attempt to rally his companions and encourage them that even though some of their plans have been disturbed for now, they're here. They have the swordsman. He's safe, and that they're going to be okay. And he'll use rally on Norbert and Norcus as well before taking a short rest.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think Serrano will mention that before you rest, would you be willing to lay out those cards you got? We can, perhaps this is the best time for that. And I would like to, if possible, introduce myself to. Does it seem like I can approach the Swordmaster, or is that more like don't go near him?
Yeah, you can. It is not taboo to come near him. In fact, you're probably going to be escorted first towards the Swordsmaster himself, so that he can greet his students that have trained with him before. Like eyeing their stance and giving them lectures on the way that they walk as they make their way towards them. Like, no, more on the ball of your feet. What are you doing? Shoulder width, no further. That type of thing. Even injured, he's still grunting his disapproval at various parts of your physical makeup.
As Norbert approaches the master, can I give him the most epic of handshakes, like in the Predator movie, Arnold and the other guy just we're going, like,
You could go for one, but he just nods curtly at you, and says, "Welcome, student." What were you going to say, Sarah?
Oh, quick question. I apologize. Can you swap over to the map for the chat?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Like I mentioned when I was making my character deal with her short sword, she's better than a normal mage with swords, but I think she's like hearing him like give these comments and is just having horrible flashbacks to her brother like teaching her how to use the sword, and like she's not very good. She knows how to hold it kind of, but like she knows like some fancy like quasi nobility dueling stance, not like proper sword fighting, and I think she's just like getting increasingly like oh I remember being like lectured like this. No, a little stressed, but she wants to introduce herself to the Swordmaster and give a very polite cut and be like, that tea smells delicious. It seems a little more bitter than what we have at home, but, she'll be polite. But I think eventually she wants to get to the point of, like, the people who are coming have this device. And I know not exactly how it works, but I've investigated the magic that sort of works behind it and the way it tends to function. And if you'd listen to me, I'd like to... I'm sure you're far more wise and adept at combat than me, but perhaps if I told you a little about the way it will work, you might be able to best counteract it, because we believe it's their intention to use it against you, so that they might bear you away from here alive.
They come bearing trickery, do they? Oh, I would be happy to learn of my opponents. I cannot quite defend myself as well as I would like, he says. He shows a large chest wound that's clearly been infected by some kind of poison or oil that has been applied to the weapon that was used to wound him.
The most important part is that they might attempt to use it on you in combat as such. It may not work, but if they can trick you into investigating something, touching it, be very wary for something like that. It will be much more effective if they deceive you into using it yourself rather than simply casting the device at you. It's good to be prepared for them using it in a combative situation, of course, if you can be, but also be very aware of any, I don't know, perhaps maybe make it look like they've dropped something. I'm not sure how they would, but simply be mindful of something like that. And Serrano will sort of try to describe the way the bands work and what she can of the item, and then we'll sort of curtsy again. And if you can excuse me, Master, I have some small magics that can help. Let us know if they're drawing near undetected, and I will protect the camp as best I can, and then I will go and just start ritually casting alarms and points where it looks might be approaching, or maybe if there's any undergrowth that's getting close to where people are resting, where an assassin might sneak in, she'll try to sort of cover any little patches like that.
Sure, absolutely. He listens intently to your discussion of the bands of Villaro, And he nods in kind of like small understanding. You have a large map here. I will zoom out for the chat as much as possible here. This is kind of where they will be camping. Feel free to mark any areas that you will place your alarms down.
After the conversation, I also have the spell called Alarm. I will help out CR alarm the camp, essentially.
Okay.
And specifically, Norbert knows that a camp is around here. I'm guessing it's quite a thick shrubbery and tree line there, right? Up north.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the forest. It's this is a clearing where this kind of like water is, but the rest of the area surrounding you is the forest proper. So it's just as thick as the rest of the forest that you've gone through.
Okay. Norbert in particular is gonna see where the master is gonna be sleeping and use like a little 30 or 40-degree arc to go around just that area rather than entire camp.
Okay. Yeah. There's only the 3 mats set up. 2 are being occupied by kind of students. You can probably assume what the 3rd one is for.
Could I also hand over what is quite obviously like an engagement / wedding ring to the master? And I present it to him?
He looks at you as you hand over an engagement ring. He says, you don't need to do that. Swords master and apprentice relationship really does not need to go beyond a hearty handshake every now and then. Do you need that handshake? And he like goes to awkwardly offer you that same like handshake.
As a kid, as a kid getting what he wants, he's gonna take the handshake. That's not what I had in mind. This is my wedding ring. I'm already married. I appreciate the thoughts put into it, but I'll say this is my wedding ring. It's been enchanted with a invisibility spell per se. I would like you to attune it if we do get ambushed at night, as their primarily objective is to capture you, instead of laying your life, for no apparent reason. I would like you to turn invisible and then live another day.
Oh, very good. Invisible and then ambush them. A fine strategy. Fine strategy. One I would not usually be okay with, except for the fact I am injured as I am. I could definitely ambush one of these cowards.
That's not exactly what Norbert had in mind, but he's gonna be like, he understands. He's just like, yeah, sure.
All right. He takes your wedding ring and then like goes to put it on his big orc finger, and then like goes, "Oh, this doesn't fit. You're quite large, Mr. Half Giant. Perhaps I'll put this on my thumb." Or like, and he pulls out like a small leather band, perhaps around my neck.
Fair enough. Put it on your big toe, I proclaim.
Could I cast Detect Magic?
Sure.
I guess I'm interested in the pond and also the Sword Master's wound, and then just anything else it brings.
The pond itself has some light magical aura to it. It doesn't give you the same strong aura that like a magic item would or a potion, but there's definitely some kind of magic here in the waters, although faint and not particularly powerful. The wound itself, I don't think would ping any kind of magic to your eyes. And what else did you want? Anything else in the area? I mean, other than the magic items that you brought yourselves that you would be familiar with, I don't believe that you will find any magic items amongst these elves.
Roger that.
As we're taking this rest, Alex will take a dip directly into the water, like whole body. And as he's doing so, he will try and keep an ear out for if he picks up like anyone that speaks in Thieves' Cant around them. Maybe if one of the elves maybe has a cousin that's being held by the guild and is helping, made sure they'd survive last encounter, just in case, anything like that.
Okay, so you're investigating the elves themselves, listening, throwing in some thieves' cant, trying to trip up one of them. That sounds to me like you are doing some kind of like deception, probably with intelligence or charisma, depending on like how glib you are versus how like cunning. So I would like a deception intelligence or a deception charisma check to investigate these elves and see if one of them will slip up and reveal themselves as at least a member of the thieves community.
Yeah, could I angle specifically for investigation or perception? That'd be alright?
Perception probably not. Investigation,
Just trying to
sure.
match words
Yeah,
together. Not so much
yeah.
hear things, but match, you know.
I think that's fine. Yeah, I'll give you investigation. That is a 12. As you kind of slip your conversation into the elves and try to get them to reveal themselves as a member of the thieves organization, you do not end up coming up with any hits. Either they do not reveal themselves to you, or none of these students here are members of the thieves guild.
Sounds good. Alex tries to not like disguise it, but kind of disguise it by doing some of his like newly found minor magics to kind of make an excuse for saying weird things and doing weird things. The pigeons fly at midnight, and then it makes an image of a pigeon. Look, I can make a pigeon. That sort of thing.
Yes, the elf students find you very very entertaining for a brief period of time.
I think this is very different to anything that there was back home. So I think she's a little bit. She doesn't want to bother the swordmaster, so she's not trying to talk to him. But I think she's definitely like between her incanting and doing things. She's definitely keeping an eye out and is just very curious. Like I think she's meant to be putting out all these alarms, and she'll get some done. But I think she's going to get this. If some of the elves practice a bit, she'll get distracted watching. This is all very new to her, and this the figure has been really talked up, and she's like, "Oh, who's this mysterious orc?" And also, while she's definitely more interested in magic than swords, I think she's also like to learn anything, so she'll probably like study them for a little bit. And I think she's trying to do her job, but she's very distracted and taken by all that's going on around her.
Absolutely. So you spend some time trying to learn what you can about this strange swords master. He seems to be a excuse me. He seems to be a fairly like gruff figure. He gives curt and like straightforward advice to people, and never stops like. He never seems to turn off his like training mode, even as people sit and drink their tea or whatever. He mentions their posture, will like try to make sure that Norbert is striding properly, that type of thing. He is clearly wounded, and clearly not near 100%, and doesn't seem to do a whole lot of moving from his spot. But there is a confidence to him that is easy to pick up on. Like even wounded and sitting here by this like healing spring of water, there's a assuredness to his own capabilities that comes through as you watch and interact.
When I was making my character, I spent the price of the exotic spices to get tea for Serana, because it's something she would definitely carry with her to make good fires at night while she reads the spell book. So I think she'll make a little offering of something. It's probably not to the quality you have, but this is from my home before I traveled north. And as a little cultural exchange, I suppose, please, if you'd like to take some to make sometime, I'd love to offer you a little bit of what I brought with me.
He nods his head, says, yes, I would love some foreign tea. Always good to broaden the horizons. You get tired of the same stuff the elves make after a while. They eat the same bread every single day. Every single day. It's, ugh.
Say, Master, speaking about elves, I know you've lived all your life with them, but would you consider, for your own safety, at least for a short while, to move with us? to our city of Rimview. You would be well more protected there.
No, my friend. I do not reside well in cities. We have our own place of sanctuary. We're very nearby it ourselves, but we're waylaid amongst the woods here. Once I am healed up, and apparently there are those after me again, once they are dealt with, I will make it to a sanctuary, and there I shall wait out this war.
Say, apparently the old Fae have put a contract on you to either capture you at all costs or kill you. Do you know the reason what for?
Oh, well, I am capable of slaying their masters. We have a history, the old Fae and I. The last time there was a conflict, I defeated both of their champions. They do not want me involved on the wrong side of their war. It's as simple as that.
I
have a question, Master. I recently encountered some creatures that I think were Fae. If I give a description of them, I'd appreciate knowing if these are old Fae, and I'll describe the shadowy people that exploded in blinding light.
No, I think what you're talking about are Darklings. They don't necessarily belong to the old Fae of the South. They are normal occupants of the woods here. Darklings often take up the profession of thievery and spying, seeing as their skin absorbs the light, makes them an easy sneak, so to speak. Oftentimes taking things from the elves.
I think Serrano wanted to get a bit of an impression of her taking on this job was definitely because, she wanted to prevent a kidnapping, and I think she wants to get a bit of a sense of, does the Swordmaster seem like a benevolent figure, rough, but, he's trying to do good? Or does he seem usually... I think she's sort of trying to ascertain, is this a good person we're helping? Because kidnapping and Thieves Guild seemed wrong to her, but she isn't sure if the person she's come to help is necessarily any better, so I think she'd like to sort of ascertain, is this someone who's, worth, risking my life to protect sort of thing?
I don't know. I think that's up to you to kind of decide, right? I don't know if there's a roll for good person check in the game. But yeah, you can keep an eye out to decide the fate of the Swordsmaster.
I think if we had brought a shopping cart with us, we could have given him the shopping cart and see if he could give it back to us. That's how I tell if someone's a good person or not.
If they return to the designated area.
Test.
Yeah.
All right.
But if Serana asks us during the journey what type of person the Swordmaster is, he would have gotten the response that he's always done good things and helped those of us that have encountered him, always helpful and that sort of thing. So she would have gotten a good report card ahead of time, so to speak.
Very taken with his stories and wondering about the things his Swordmaster's done in his time.
All right.
Do we want to put the traps here so that they'd have to come from this side? That way, whether it's in tangle or spike growth, because if we have the thick foliage behind us, then there's kind of just these two chokes.
So if the master is sleeping on the middle part, right? I think what I'm gonna do with caltrops and the traps is one trap on here, one trap on here, and this area here I'm gonna do caltrops. And obviously everybody's gonna know except for the enemies coming through.
Okay. You set up some caltrops and some bear traps in the squares which you've marked in and around the mat upon which the master will spend the evening. He kind of eyes you a little bit, says, I promise you, I need not your protection. I am still the best warrior among you.
Look, what would have happened if not me and Alex last time? Who took you from the boat? Who took you from these Fey elves?
I am sure that I would have found my own way home.
Sure.
As they're discussing this, Alex is eyeing Norbert's caltrops and bear trap layouts, and he's wondering if maybe it would make it difficult for him to leave the area. Maybe also be quite obvious here in the open. Maybe put something like right here, so it's a little more concealed and a little less obvious.
Sure.
Since we expect them to come from a forest anyway.
I'll put the traps like this then. I know the color kind of matches the trees, but I'll put it like that, I guess.
You could do a line of caltrops, kind of like that.
Sure.
All right.
Just seemingly like move like this caltrop over, and put like a random one just out in the middle of nowhere.
You put a single Lego, like, with its bricks pointing up in the middle of nowhere. You savage. Okay.
Oh, yeah, this is full Home Alone. Like, we're doing the whole thing.
I'm going to put my caltrops like this, I guess, as well. Rather than, like, right next to the mat.
Okay. You set up your caltrops in that way. While you're setting up these caltrops and other traps, feel free to set up anything else that you would like to prepare. You have an hour or two here before evening will fall.
I'll offer to try and camouflage. Like use my survival skills to try and camouflage some of these caltrops with like the tall grass and the moss, like kind of just putting a layer of greenery over it.
I kind of assume that's what you were doing when you were getting the chance to set them all up here. Yeah, hiding them away. Absolutely.
I've drawn rectangles and I can't get rid of them. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you not want the rectangle right there?
No, I was just trying to work out like the diameter of my alarms and see how many I can.
Here, I will get rid of it. Boom.
I would have put like I'd want alarms covering like the foliage like on each side of the how do I ping? Yeah.
If you are on the pointer tool, you can click and hold. Yeah, just like that.
Sort of like covering on each side the approaches to like that are covered to the other camps that we haven't protected with traps. I wanted to sort of and then like maybe put like one here, and then like scatter a couple out in the distance behind the traps. Just not really trying to make a line, just sort of scattering them throughout the woods so that if they sort of try to split up and sneak in, we're hopefully going to catch at least one bit of warning that they're coming.
Okay.
But I want to set specifically, I want all of the alarms scattered out the back and down here to be the mental type that just goes off in my head. But the ones that are right near these camps where people might be asleep, I want to be loud. So that, like, if they hit an alarm that's out in the forest, they won't know they've set it off, and I can tell people to sort of be ready and they won't melt away. But if they manage to reach right where the elves are sleeping, and there won't be time for me to warn the elves, so those ones will make a loud noise and wake. So the ones around sleeping areas are loud.
Okay, absolutely. That sounds like a good plan. Is
All
there anything else that you were setting up?
They might not even show up.
Huh?
All this prep and they might not even show up tonight.
Anything else that you want to set up before evening falls? All right.
Yeah, I don't feel fine for me.
With that, evening begins to fall. As dusk approaches, the party finds themselves perhaps sitting around swapping stories with the master himself. Excuse me. I apologize for that. And as you do so, Sarana, your alarm goes off in your head from a spell that you have placed in this area over here in the woods. And as soon as that happens, You stand up, prepare your party for what comes. You see shapes beginning to emerge out of the forest. Black cloaked and hooded assassins make their way into view. There are 4 such creatures. You spy 2 of them to the east of your encampment, coming out of the woods through your alarm over here, and you spy 2 more to the south of your position, in the waters or in the south of the waters below. Serana, you're the first to kind of get an opportunity to react or think as this is happening. What do you do?
I will, seeing that they're sort of stepping out of cover and that, they seem prepared to fight, I'll call out to the elves and so must be like, they're here, and I'll tell them all, there was a fifth. A fifth was coming, so be wary. I don't think we see all of them.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. You shout to be wary. Your shouts and your alarms and your preparation allows you to act. Rest of the party, what do you do?
Alex was prepared for action. He knew that something was... Well, he was prepared for action, but he was prepared for when shit was going to go down. He pulls a scroll from his pack, and excited to cast his first real spell, and this was from a scroll too. He will enchant the words as loud as possible for Bless. He will cast Bless upon himself, upon Norcus, and upon the Swordmaster.
I did not quite realize that you were saying we could act. Can I cast Fireball?
Yeah, you can cast Fireball.
I didn't realize. I was just like, oh yeah, what would Sarah do?
All right. So, you are blessing yourself, you said?
Yep.
You are blessing the Swordmaster. And you are blessing Norbert?
Norcus.
Norcus. Okay.
Yes, because I know Norbert has incredibly high everything. Whereas,
Everything.
Whereas Norcus might need just a little bit more for his life here.
You pull out your scroll, you incant the words loudly, you bless yourself and some of your teammates. As you do this, Serana fires a bolt of fire from the tip of her finger towards one of the assailants. Unfortunately, they realize that they have been spotted and their shot is not clean, and dodge quickly and lithely out of the way of the firebolt as it erupts in the foliage behind them. All right.
Could I cast Spike Growth?
Yeah, go ahead and put down some spike growth.
And so Spike Growth is a 20-foot radius. So that means it's like 8 squares long.
Yep, correct.
It's an 8 by 8.
It's a level 2 spell, right? Here.
Yep.
That's spike growth.
Awesome.
That's 20 foot.
That's I think that's only 20 foot, not radius, but
That's a 20-foot diameter. You should put spike growth in the thing.
should be 8 by 8
radius.
long, yeah.
Okay.
Like that. That's a spike growth.
There you go. Where are you putting it?
Ooh, that's pretty.
I want you to put it over here.
Where is over here?
On the right by these 2 guys.
Ah, I see. Okay, I see your ping. You're putting it over here.
Yeah, I'd go a little bit more to the right, like 3 squares right.
Like that.
1 more.
Okay.
That's great. And then I would bonus action turn into a brown bear.
Excellent. You turn into a brown bear. Go ahead and pull that token out if you want it. Or we can use your own and just know you're a brown bear. Beautiful. All right. And Norbert, what do you do?
Norbert is conflicted. He was gonna bum rush these 2, take care of them alone. But instead, what he's gonna do is he's gonna tell the master to stand back, see what your students are capable of. He's gonna move 30 feet here. and he's gonna cast a cantrip at, let's say, this assassin, yelling out, "Dance, puppet, dance!" as he's gonna sacred flame him.
All right, you Sacred Flame down here to the south. With a dexterity save, the assassin attempts to oblige you and dance out of the way. It will roll a 19 and just whoosh away from your Sacred Flame.
As he dances to the side, a firebolt is expecting him to jump in exactly the right direction. As I roll a 15 to hit him.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
Ooh, sorry. 4. That's so poor. Okay.
Oh, you do. The firebolt arcs directly where he was dancing away, striking him in some like hardened leather armor beneath his dark, long black cloak. And he takes some amount of flaming damage. He pats it down, and as he does so, everybody, roll me initiative.
Oh my lord, it's the first time in 5 sessions I haven't rolled below a 5 for initiative.
Excellent. Why are we not going in descending order? What is wrong with you, thing?
Should we reroll and then update it?
Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Boom. With that, the assassins will be the first to react.
Sorry, we're missing Serana.
Oh, we're missing Serana. Let's add
Got
her.
a 12.
Okay.
Also, it's possible they might not notice the spike growth, depending on how spiky or growthy the underground is.
Sounds great. Serana had a 12. Beautiful. Let's put this in descending order. The assassins remain the first to go. The assassins were pulling out bows to shoot, and as they do so, they are surprised to see that their steps were found out. And as they look at you all, they're going to try and shoot some of the people attacking them before they got their chance. With their bows, they're going to make 2 attacks? No, they make 1 attack with their bows. The first one is going to be at... Alex. As you pulled out some kind of scroll, it points its bow at you and fires. With a 10, it fires wide. It was originally like aiming at the sword master and then has to whip its bow towards you. It flies off into the night around you. This one here to the south of him is going to attack a brown bear that has started charging at him and his partner. He wings it out towards you with a 23. Norcus, the great brown bear, please make me a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
If this is poison, I have... Oh wait, actually, never mind. The ring of poison resistance only does half damage. It doesn't give advantage on saves.
All right, perfect.
Con save.
Oof.
That is a fail. Okay.
I have and it's also a little bit higher because I'm a brown bear, but it's probably still pretty low.
Okay, so your Constitution is a +2 here. What is the brown bear's con?
+3. So it's
Okay.
a total of so 7 + 4 is 11. So it's a 12.
It's a 12. That is still lower than a 15. Please take 10 points of piercing damage from the bow itself, and then you do indeed feel poison seeping into your system. Please take from me 7d6 poison damage.
Oh,
How much?
wow.
Yeah.
Please
Thank
take from
God
me
for that.
21 points of poison damage.
So I half that to 10.
For your ring of poison resistance, yes, that will go down to 10. The ones down and the south down here both pull bows, and they're going to fire. Their first shot will go towards Norbert. Norbert, the bow twangs and a 16 fires in your direction, but you easily intercept it with your shield, knocking it away. The second one will fire towards the sword master, which he will shoot with a 16. You'll see the sword master still sitting where he was, just pull out his blade and like cut the arrow in twain as it comes towards him as he looks in that direction. Alex, you see all of this happen. What do you do?
Alex puts away his scroll, happy to have brought up protections on his allies, and as the fight gets into full force, poisoned arrows and crossbow bolts go sailing, fire bolts go flying. He holds up his shield hand, where he's wearing the signet ring, and he smiles and he looks towards this like towards that assassin over there, and he will blast him with a firebolt. His first attempt at offensive magic.
Alright. You blast a firebolt towards the assassin, pointing your ring at him like a phantom. With a 25, a bolt of fire unleashes itself from the ring and blasts the creature in the in the leather armor beneath its cloak for 14 points of damage.
I don't think being blessed counts as a condition, does it?
No.
Okay. And there's no one in range, so that's that. And then, putting down his hands, he will bring his massive sword up and advance.
All right. With that, Norbert, it is your turn.
Norbert has his opponent sorted out. He knows who he's fighting. The party can take care of 2 assassins, right? So he's advancing. He's gonna move 30 feet to here, and he's gonna blast the same one once again. He's gonna make the puppet dance.
All right, Yuko, firing your bolts down at these to the south, making a sacred flame appear beneath their feet. They will make a dexterity saving throw against that. With a 5 this time, the sacred flame erupts around them, waiting for their dodge, dealing 7 points of damage to the assassin. A firebolt comes arcing out as they dodge and hits them square for 8 more.
And I'm gonna start taunting them instead of shooting at my allies. I'm like, "Come and get me! I'm coming for you! No escaping me!" And I'm just going towards them essentially.
All right, they say, "Come, we will show you your maker." Serana, it is your turn.
As they yell that, I apologize. Alex will yell out, "Be careful! There might be more coming from the back. Stay vigilant so they don't surprise us with extra assassins from the forest."
All right, excellent. As Alex yells this out, Serana, it comes to you to act. What do you do?
I think as combat sort of starts in earnest, Serana, with another sort of grimace at the swordmaster and his students, pulls out her own sword and holds it fairly shakily, just knowing that she is nowhere near their level, and this is very embarrassing, but she should also have her sword out just in case. So, she draws her sword and kind of like side eyes, like moves up here, like kind of like not trying not to meet the swordmaster's gaze as she like is an embarrassment to the art. And will then flourish dramatically with her sword and hold it out and send a bolt of fire out of it because she is better at magic than she is.
All right, excellent.
I'm
You send a
just
bolt
trying-
of fire from the flourish of your blade. With a 14, it arcs towards the assassin, but he throws up his cloak and slides to the side, almost like olaying the firebolt at the last moment. All right. With that, it comes to Norcus. The great brown bear has been struck by one of these arrows. What do you do?
I just want to confirm that I can spend my action to attempt to grapple. Then when I have someone grappled, I can move at half speed, dragging them with me.
You can do a contest of athletics or acrobatics to move them against their will. Sure.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I am going to go move up to this guy and attempt to grapple him.
Okay, you come bounding up at the edge of your spike growth to grapple with the assassin nearest you. The assassin will duck and turn and attempt to get out of the way of your skill with his acrobatics. With a 21, he tries to avoid your grapple.
I'm gonna roll this. Bless does not does bless apply to this?
Nope.
Sure. Yeah, roll a
No.
d4.
Oh.
It really wouldn't normally, but there you go. You're still an 18, and you cannot.
I have a the brown bear has a +4.
22.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, okay. Well, I was being glib with the bless, but I guess I gave it to you, so you grapple him.
And I will drag the assassin through the spike growth as I bite onto its arm, and then being dragged behind a horse. I'm just gonna go the rest of my movement down along the edge of the spike growth to try and drag him. If I have to take the spike growth as well, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I think that in order to do that, we're gonna have both of you take the spike growth rather than
Perfect.
just dragging one person through. You're gonna have to like
Yeah.
as a bear, you're like grappling him in his space. If you want him to take the spike growth damage, I think your bear form will as well.
Yeah. So it's every 5 feet. So it'd be 6d4
Okay.
as I drag him down to here.
Okay. So you drag. Oops, not that. You drag this character down here. Perfect.
Was that a previously wounded one, or is that the fresh one?
That is the one that was wounded.
Yep.
All right,
which-
your bear form and the assassin will take 17 points of damage for 24-31 in total.
Okay, this is gonna be close. I have +3 con, so that should be a pass.
Okay, excellent. You keep your concentration up as you drag this assassin through the spike growth. Wonderful. At the end of the round, the elf will step up with their bows drawn, not wishing to get in the spiky area that they see you dragging the creature through. They will make 2 attacks. Yes, you can spend your bonus action to use your feature to heal with a spell slot. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
They will make 2 attacks at the assassin that you have grappled with a 9 and a 1 on the first one and a 4 and a 6 on the other one. They are unable to shoot their bows with enough efficacy to hit the assassin. This one here takes a defensive stance near the sword master, blade at the ready. The 2 that were back here are going to step forward on either side of Norbert, and they are going to unleash shots at the assassins behind them, or down south where Norbert was fighting. The 13, that will hit, but the 1 will not. They do d6 plus 3.
I feel like the natural one hits me in the back.
The natural one
Yeah.
bounces off your armor in the back. Yeah, definitely. They will do another 6 points of damage to the one that you have been shooting with fire and flames. The Swordmaster puts on a ring and he disappears.
Whoosh.
All right. With that, the assassins will go. The assassins we're going to start with are over here. One of them is being grappled by a bear. They are standing right next to their friend in melee with a bear. They are going to just... They're just going to attack the shit out of you with their short swords. The first one will make an attack. With a 7, it's grappled with you. It's like trying to get its arm out. It can't get a good slash in. But it does get 2 attacks with its short sword, so it tries to swing again. This time with a 19, its blade finds some purchase. It rends into you for 4 points of piercing damage. And go ahead and make me a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
I passed.
Greg.
Yeah.
Does that 76 poison include like the creature not having acted first assassin bonus thing that is like an assassin feature?
Yep.
Because he has acted, right? So it should be a little less than that?
It's not. The sneak attack assassinate is not included in that. That's
Okay,
the poison on their weapon.
Got it.
So with my con, that's a pass.
All right, excellent. So you will take half of that, and you will take half again for your poison ring. So you will take 7 points of poison damage and 4 piercing. The second assassin is going to kind of step around you. It has.
I drop out of bear form. I take 2 points of damage to me.
Excellent. You drop out of bear form. Boom. And you are there. The other one kind of sneaks around you, and he is going to attack you with his short sword. He is going to try to get his sneak attack in. With a 13, will that hit your base form?
That misses.
All right. That is going to be his attack there, since he was using his other to try to get that sneak attack. These 2 assassins down on the south side are just going to shoot their bows at Norcus or the elves. They're going to shoot their bows at the elves. They will shoot their bows.
Cowards.
They are going to critically hit an elf. The elf is going to make a con save. Elf rolls a nat 1 on the con save. I don't even need to roll damage. They instantly kill one of the elves next to you. You see the arrow strike him, and he just falls over in pain and death. The second attack is going to be a 24. Con save for the elf is a 4 on the dice. So they are going to take D8 plus 3 plus 76. 76? Is that right? 76. They will take 31 total points of damage. They are on death's door as they are struck by the assassin. And that is the assassin's turn. Alex, it comes back around to you. You see the death of an elf to your west and your brown bear companion being knocked back into his original form. What do you do?
I lost my mouse. My cat just knocked over my mouse. My keyboard can't reach a text box to make attack rolls. I'm not within 30 feet, so my plan is to firebolt and then move closer. So if I can't do that here in the next few seconds after finding the mouse, If you might give me a hand with the attack roll, that would be fantastic.
I can do that, I think. Here, let me do it on this window. It'll be easier to find you, I think. Two characters.
I can roll it for you if you want.
Norbert. Not Norbert. Alex. You want to firebolt and move forward.
Yeah, ideally I would firebolt the wounded one and then move around the spike.
All right, Alex, you shoot an 8 plus 2 is 10, and you need a d4. That's not going to matter. A 14 won't hit them. You shoot your firebolt at one of the assassins. The injured one is actually the one being grappled.
My firebolt is at +5. I apologize.
Huh?
Basically, my firebolt's at +5?
Yes.
Oh, I see. I see.
I rolled it from your sheet. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Excellent. The firebolt rolls away. Yeah, it is not grappled. You're right. Because you're out of your bear form. Excellent. You shoot your firebolt. Where do you want to move up to?
I want to move like basically 6 squares to the right, going around the spikes.
6 squares to the right. You move your way around the spike growth, attempting to get a better angle at what is going on here. Norbert.
I just imagine like looking to my left, right, and seeing Norcus like being in bear form, like having this assassin in his mouth, getting hit, and like transforming back into a druid, and just a firbolg like having his thief around this assassin. I just imagine it's super funny. But I'm gonna call out to these assassins, like calling them cowards. Face me, not the elves. As once again I move 30 feet and I firebolt the already wounded assassin that's right in front of me.
All right, you firebolt the wounded assassin, and make a sacred flame, I assume.
Yeah, sacred flame into
absolutely.
Firebolt.
They're going to fail their dex save and take 6 more points of damage as your sacred flame erupts around them. The firebolt, however, will miss. They've taken 11 and 12 is 23, 31 points of damage. They are not bloodied yet. Serana, it is your turn. What will you do?
Serana extends a hand at the wounded assassin here who is being dragged through the spikes and lets out another little burst of flame that goes flying towards...
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
wow.
With a 25, your firebolt strikes this assassin here. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
A 9.
9 more points of damage. Serana, your burst of fire is going to be enough to bloody this creature here.
And then I think... I know that the elf over here is dead, but I think Serana is kind of like, oh dear, people need my help, like someone's bleeding and the other's very hurt, so she is going to run her 30 feet, kind of not really thinking it through, like, just being like, oh, I've got to help people, and starts dashing in that direction.
All right, excellent. Norcus, you are the next to go. You are now surrounded by assassins in your non-bear form, having been stabbed out of it. What do you do?
Yeah, Norgus, spits out this guy as he turns back to, Furbolg, and he is gonna go right back to Bear.
All right, excellent. Right back to a bear you go.
Last wild shape. Bear. And he is going to make a bite and a claw against the bloodied one.
All right, please roll to hit.
I have bless, right? So I'll add
you do have a bless, yeah.
Does a 15 hit?
A 15 does hit, exactly.
Yeah, so 8 damage, and then here's the claws.
All right.
a 18 to hit for 15 damage.
Oh my.
I
It
think you might
didn't crit. It just a
be
15. Oh yeah, I'm rolling from D&D Beyond, so it's I don't know how to.
It
Take
rolls to the GM. I can see it, but no
Okay,
one else
okay.
can.
I think I'll just roll the d20s manually in the future. But yeah, so 15 damage as the claws come down.
Yeah.
And not mechanically, but he does just kind of like, like, oh no, go to the edge, go to the edge.
You bite and claw at him, slashing into him, trying to force him to the edge of the spike growth that you've created. Excellent.
Sorry, if I can intervene just for half a second. If you open the brown bear, oh, he dropped.
Nope.
Just as I was talking to him, he didn't want to listen. All right.
Let's see. He should be back pretty soon here.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for him, it will come to the end of the round after his turn. So let's run through some of these elf turns. The two next to oh, here he is. He's back. There we go. You are back. Anything else with your turn, or is it over, Mr. Norcus?
Yeah, I think that's. I'm not a rogue. I don't have any ideas about how to avoid sneak attacks, so I just kind of a little bit scared about getting walloped again. I end my turn.
Okay, excellent. With that, the bows from the elves will snap once more. With an 8 and a 21, that'll hit. They will do D6 plus 3. For 4 points of damage to this guy. He has taken 27 since he was hit before. He is going to be at death's door after that strike. As we pull over here, there is a dead elf and a bloodied elf. The bloodied elf was in the process of drawing out its blade in the west, but as the arrow struck it home, they instead drop down to a knee, pull out another arrow, and they are gonna fire back across Norcus's backside, or across his back towards the assassins. I don't know. I'm trying. Oh, that is an 18 that'll hit. They're going to do 5 points of damage more, and they are going to bloody the assassin that you've been slowly working on.
I mean, I hadn't even walked up to him yet. It's a miracle he's bloodied.
The one over here that was taking a defensive stance in the middle sees that the swordsman has become invisible and begins to walk forward 5, 10, 15, 20. No, we're going to go this way. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They're going to join the fight over on the west side. And with that, the assassins will go. The assassins that are grouped up over here to the east on the bear now have another whole bear to deal with. This guy is on death's door. He doesn't want to go in and get worked. He's going to use his short sword here to attack you. With a 19, he will strike your bear with his first short sword attack for 7 piercing damage and 23 poison. Please make me a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. That is a fail, so please take the full poison damage minus your rings half.
So 11.
23, yeah, 11. Exactly. And then
the bear groans.
He will swing a second time, critically hitting the bear.
Okay, this is hopium important, right? If the poison is tied to a saving throw, right? So crits don't actually.
The damage dice of the poison on this do double. Yes.
Oh
Yep.
fuck. Okay.
Before you roll, do you have inspiration?
I do have inspiration, so I definitely will use that.
Use the hell out.
Yes. Please make me that Constitution saving throw.
Okay, yeah.
16 plus 5 is 21. You pass. You will take half of
Oh my god.
40, 53 damage. You will take 26 damage. And 26 is halved again to 13. So in total, you'll take 9 piercing and 13 poison after your ring and everything.
Okay, yeah, I mean, this could be worse. I could have outright died. This could have been, like, fully the
Mhm.
character death. So 9 piercing, and then it was 26 poison, half to 13.
Yep, that is correct.
So I take 7, and then the remaining 6 goes to my real guy.
Okay, excellent.
Holy shit.
Me up.
With that, the assassin that is next to you is watching his friend work you. He's gonna decide you've done plenty. The bear's gone down twice. He's gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Norcus, do you have a melee weapon in hand after you shift out of bear form?
Yeah, I typically have my shillelagh in hand.
Absolutely. Would you like to make an attack at him?
Spike growth goes down, by the way.
Oh, spike growth disappears.
Which
Okay.
that might actually change the path he wants to take. I don't know.
He largely got to where he was going. I think that's fine.
I'm happy for him. Yeah, my reaction, I am going to attempt to club him. I don't have Shillelagh cast, so this is just a regular club.
Okay.
Just like as I'm bleeding out, like feebly hit him with my walking stick. This is D20 plus 4.
That is a 13. You are blessed.
Blessed.
You hit.
Nice.
I think this is a D6 because it's just a normal.
That works for me.
Yeah, 5 damage.
5 points of damage. All right, you thump him on the way by. He's like, ugh, deal with him. And he takes his short swords out, and he's going to go to work on Alex. The first one is a 20. Will that hit you?
That will miss. Alex barely brings up his shield just in time and blocks the otherwise deadly blade.
All right. You bring up your shield just in time to block the blade, and then as he brings his second one in, you use your shield to like bash them both to the side as he misses his follow-up attack.
And as he misses, Alex will just as quickly react
Okay.
with a riposta.
With a rapasta. Okay.
And will take an attack at this enemy.
Ratatouille.
Sorry, what was that?
How does it? Never mind.
Unfortunately, there is no longer an ally within range for sneak attack, but hopefully the blade's size enough is good.
The 20 will hit for 16 points of damage. Absolutely. You strike
nice,
out like a hefty blow, ripping into the side of the creature.
And then he prepares for another attack once it's his turn.
All right, excellent. With that done, the assassins down here are going to take more shots. And they're going to shoot at the elves, ignoring the taunts from Norbert. They are going to shoot first at... They're going to first shoot at the wounded elf, missing entirely, flying out wide. What was that?
Sorry, that was background noise.
Oh, okay. The second shot at the healthy elf also flies wide. Their bows better when they can train them for a spicy meatball. Alex, it comes back around to you. You've just blocked and riposted against the oncoming blades of one of the healthier assassins. Oh no! Yes, it is you. Never mind. What do you do?
Alex will shift from his defensive stance into an offensive stance, as he will move carefully around this assassin, and then bring his sword down to attack.
Wonderful. The 25 will hit for 6 points more of damage. Okay.
And then he will look at Norcus. Let me see. This is a bonus. Yes, and as a bonus action, he will rally on him once again. Norcus, hold on.
All right. You shout out your encouragement towards Norcus, rallying him 4 more hit points.
Every little bit helps. So he hopes that's enough to keep him from dying to these wicked poison blades.
Excellent. Norbert, you are the next to act, seeing them shoot behind you at your companions.
If Norbert was a barbarian, this is definitely a place where he would rage, like, stop ignoring me! Because he's gonna rush 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet.
As you reach that spot right there, you feel the ground around you snap up as disguised beneath you is a deadly trap. Please make me a DC 20 strength saving throw. And because you had this happen to you, please make it at disadvantage, as you were surprised by it being there.
All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The bands of the Berillion try to snap around you, but you just grab them and shove them down, forcing them away. They bound into a sphere next to you, and you are unbound. What do you do with the rest of your turn?
I yell out, is that all you got? This measly, weak, magical item? I have one too. Mine isn't DC 20, but just as strong, as I will pull out this like purple hue elemental stone, and I will just summon it in front of me to wreak havoc on these two guys.
Alrighty. So you do. The dark elemental is summoned from the stone and placed in front of them.
Norbert, you should have it come out of the water so they die into healing water.
I don't know if you can die in the healing water.
Let's find out.
There we go.
Yes, and it's gonna straight away maul twice at the bloody one.
Alright.
21 to hit.
21 hits.
It's 2d8 plus 5 damage for 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage. Absolutely.
It's gonna lift up a second hand and gonna come down, missing completely.
Mm-hmm.
And then he is going to gaze lovingly into the eyes of this elf here. Give me a wisdom save.
Absolutely.
DC 13.
Which they will succeed at.
And take 4 points of psychic damage.
Take 4 points of psychic damage. Excellent.
As I'm going to action surge and I'm pissed off about this Bands of Cerulean, I'm gonna walk up here. I am going to issue the command word for my magical +2 sword for the Blade of Radiance. And I'm going to take a swing at him.
Alright, please do.
I believe it's this one. Oof!
Oh, you swing it best you can, but the
lucky. You have lucky. You have
I
lucky,
do.
right?
I'll re-roll that with 1 dice of lucky. Actually.
you have lucky as well. All right, excellent.
He has everything.
He does have a lot of.
As I attacked him before I re-roll my lucky as a bonus action, I would like to shove him down on the floor first.
Yeah, I guess. No, you can't. You can't do that as a bonus action, right? That's a shove attack.
I specifically have Shield Master for that.
You specifically have Shield Master. Okay. Then that you do. You may attempt an athletics check against their acrobatics. Which they fail at. You knock them prone.
Yes, and the sword comes raining down from up above. For a 26.
That'll hit.
for 17 points of that.
For 17 more points of damage, you will bring him to death's door? Yes.
Okay.
All right. With that, Serana, it becomes your turn. You've been kind of left to yourself up here at the lake. What do you do?
I think firstly Serana just pauses in shock seeing this massive convocation go off in an elemental here, and she's a young maid. She's very excited to see it, and it's like, no, focus, we're being killed by assassins right now, but she's definitely it's gonna be a very annoying walk back because she is going to be asking all kinds of questions about how this was done. What type of magic is that?
Yeah.
Then reorienting herself and looking around, I think she sees that there's a giant elemental over there now, and the elf who's here has gone to help the other elves, so I think her urgency to rush over and try to help there is sort of faded. So instead, she's going to come back here, and she's going to... She knows that there's like a missing... We counted 5 with all our investigations back in town, and she knows that they're trapped here. She wants to keep an ear open for if she hears like a muffled shout of pain or something. She's still going to be fighting and not fully focusing on that, but she does want to sort of keep that in her mind that someone could be coming, and I want to be able to give warning if they do. So she's going to keep that in mind as she tries to help her poor bear friend who's been de-beared again and sends out another careening bolt of flame.
All right, wonderful. You send a careening bolt of flame towards the assassin next to Norcus. With an 11, the assassin ducks out of the way at the last moment. The flame goes wide, striking a like log in the forest nearby. You keep an ear out looking for the 5th and unknown assassin. Excellent. With that, it comes to Norcus, he who has been debared. You face a assassin on death's door in front of you. What do you do?
I am going to bonus action Shillelagh and then club it, hopefully.
Okay.
This is...
There's a 24 that'll hit. For 5
5
points of bludgeoning damage. Alrighty here. So we have... Wrong guy. That's the one that Norbert's fighting. This guy here. So we have 14, 17, 24, 31, 48, 58, 63, 67, 70. 3. Mr. Norcus, how do you go about slaying this assassin with your club?
Very, very desperately. Like I barely get off my knees having gone back from bear form, and I just like this a very ugly club stroke. Just get him on the back of the head, and he falls over like a sack of potatoes.
Excellent. You get up like desperately and club him to death.
I just run 30 feet like get out of here.
Very good. Yes, you run 30 feet away. At the end of your turn, the elves will go. Now without the spike growth.
As they act, Alex will yell to this elf over here, "Come around, flank him from the back. He can't hold off both of us."
And as you're yelling, you see the elf is already moving, as without the spike growth, they are here. They're coming to fight the creature that is assaulting you. They rush up with short swords drawn, and they make 2 attacks each. The first will hit once for 10 points of damage. The second will hit no times. 26, 32, 37. This does bloody the assassin, though, from the first sword strike. This elf back here is going to start to rush forward and then, like, stop rushing forward, seeing a giant elemental appear in the, like, battle below them. and instead will take pot shots with the bow, both going towards the wounded creature. Both of them are going to hit for 12 more points of damage, which is going to be enough to slay this assassin here.
Norbert is gonna yell out, "That one still counts as mine."
Excellent, excellent. With that, the assassins will go. The remaining assassin down here is going to take out a small bowl in their hand, and they are going to crush it, and from it pours out a black smoke, and they disappear in invisibility. Boom. All right. And then this assassin over here, bloodied as he is, who's he gonna fight? That's a cocked die. He's gonna fight Leova still. He brings his swords to bear against you. The first will be a 23. Will that hit you?
Yes, that will hit.
Yes, excelente. Thank you. Please make for me a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
Right. We are blessed. Where's our con save?
It is an 11. Ooh. Please take for me 9 piercing damage and 32 poison damage.
As he gets hit, he will attempt to parry the attack.
Okay.
He will take 31 points of damage and not die, which is fantastic.
You're going to take 32 and 9. Your damage reduction is 8. That's 41 minus 8 is 33. Perfect.
Oh, sorry, 33, yes.
Yeah. But
I will drop to 5 hit points.
Excellent.
Just barely holding on.
Oh, you take a savage blow. You feel the poison coursing through you, and a second short sword comes slamming down upon you with a 21.
That is exactly his AC.
All right. Please make for me another Constitution saving throw against the poison.
Oh, this is going to be bad for those elves, because I'm about to explode.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God, the poor elves. What the? You're about to explode?
Oh, my God, okay. So, of course, I failed the con. Oh, Bless is down, by the way. Let me check for Bless for the first attack. The first attack for Bless goes down. Second one, either way, I'm unconscious, so that will go down. Possibly. If I go to 1 hit point instead with the Phoenix Shield, does Bless still click off, or do I have a chance to keep it up with a con save?
Well, didn't you just fail it right there?
That was for... Oh, I did. Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So he will take 30 points of damage, and as he goes down, he will just crumple to the ground, the shield sort of falling on top of him. And then as the assassin turns with a smile on his face, the phoenix on the shield just glows a bright red energy. Then a whoosh gout of flame just goes spiraling out, catching the elves unaware and anyone else within some range here in the fiery blast.
Hopefully a small range. I'm pretty close, my man.
Yep.
No.
Let's see here. 30 feet.
Yeah, that gets me.
All right. Everybody in the area will make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw, or take 2d6 fire damage.
I don't think I can, because I'm literally exploding in fire, unfortunately.
I don't know. I just because it says can explode, but I don't know if that actually means it's.
You can expel the charge of the shield, and this is the effect that happens.
Yes.
You could instead choose to just become unconscious.
Yeah. We're not doing that.
Okay.
Yep.
The assassin will fail its roll, and it will take 6 points of fire damage. The elves are going to have a 11 and a 15. Both of them will succeed, and they will take 3 points of fire damage. Looks like you succeed on your roll, Mr. Norcus. You will take 3 points of fire damage.
Technically, I think I had asked you this before, and I want to make sure. If I'm technically unconscious when the Phoenix Shield pops, the Pendant of Penance still goes for +3 damage to all those effects, right?
Sure, we can do +3 damage to everybody. That works. So they will take an extra 1 damage, and this guy will take an extra 3 damage. Extra. Perfect. Okay. This guy is surprised. You can see him like staring in like disbelief as this eruption of fire causes the person he had just slashed to ribbons with his blades stands back up and looks at him. Alex, it is your turn. What do you do?
Alex turns towards this assassin, rage in his eyes. If he was a barbarian, he also would rage. That's one class he has not taken yet, but maybe he'll have to soon. And he turns his weapon towards this assassin. He will attack him.
Okay.
Sneak attack is up. Pendant is down. Bless is down. Let's turn that off. And here we go.
23 will hit for 19 points of damage. That is enough to bring him to death's door for sure.
And if he is not dead, Alex will grunt, look at his dagger, and say, "I'm not letting you use that again." And he will action surge and take a second swing.
All right, please do.
With there's no sneak attack because it's once per turn, so we'll turn that off.
There's a 19 that'll hit for 13 more points of damage. You swing at him with your mighty Naginata, and you slice his head clean off. The creature falls and dies.
And as he dies, Alex turns back towards the center of combat, toward the sword master and where the other assassins and elves are fighting. Takes a deep breath. Uses second wind on himself and will march back towards the action.
All right. Norbert, it is your turn. You can look around. The battlefield is currently empty of combatants, but you know there is an invisible assassin somewhere nearby. What do you do?
So Norbert, unlike I think it was Randall who dropped a bag of flour on him, he doesn't have that on him at the moment. So what he's going to do is he's going to look at the ground, right? It's pretty moist, quite muddy, next to the lake. He's going to look if there's any new footprints that he would have noticed. He knows how invisibility works. If he would have noticed where they're appearing or going.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check as you look for the footprints real quick. Oh, it seems that your own footprints and the footprints of the elemental kind of just are too confusing to get a quick look at and find where the new ones are.
I would love to use my lucky, please.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
For a normal roll, 19.
Yeah, okay. Instead, as you're about to give up, your eyes glance down and you do see fresh footprints near the marsh. In this direction right here.
Sorry, I didn't see where you pointed.
This pings right here. Is it not pinging? Why?
Nope, it is not.
If you're on the GM layer, it doesn't. Oh yeah, it shows up now.
As the elemental starts walking to there, and he's just gonna tackle it into the water. I know it's probably the master, but still, he's gonna do it.
All right, elemental wanders that direction. Go ahead and you're gonna try to make a grapple. Make a strength athletics check at disadvantage.
Yeah. Dark elemental, 20 strength, So 20 plus 5. 21.
21. He is going to. Does the
Need
tie
to
go to
beat,
the
right?
defender or the offender?
Defender.
Does the
All right.
elemental have any proficiency at all?
I don't think he would have like maybe athletics. I don't know.
If it
say that
doesn't
has
say
any.
in the handout, then it doesn't. You can treat that as like a monster block.
Sure. And would Norbert's action be to look, or is that
No, I was just having you take a glance at it. Your elemental is like trying to grab this thing, but it fails to tackle it into the water.
Yeah, let me see if I have any interesting spells I could be using. Yes, I do actually. So as Norbert is going to run up to the square where he thinks the assassin is, right? And he's going to frostbite both at where the lake is and at the grass to see which way are the grasses going to be like breaking apart, if that makes sense. Where the assassin is going to be stepping forward.
I don't follow. Actually, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna frostbite the ground at the feet of the assassin, just
Okay.
to follow his movements where he's gonna be moving towards, if that makes sense. Because yeah, if you frostbite the grass, he's gonna step on it, break the grass leaves.
Okay, so you're trying to like get a beat on where he is to not be surprised type of situation.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, trying to create an area of like very crackable ground.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Yes, you do that. You freeze some lake, you frostbite the ground, you get it nice and crispity and crackly.
Yep.
Alright. Serana, it is back to you. What are you doing?
Sirana will, seeing that the situation over here seems, she will rush down, fully moving, and start trying to. I know the elf here is like dead in game terms, but she's gonna, see if she can help and try to patch up the other health and just sort of be talking to them and doing her best. She's not a trained healer or anything, but maybe she can hold bandages for one of the elves who is or something.
Absolutely, you can definitely do that. You'll quickly find that the elf that has fallen has been killed outright, but you are able to do some patchwork, medical exercises for the wounded elf for sure. All right, Norcus, it is your turn. What do you do?
I'll shout across the pond. Norbert, do you know where he is?
Right in front of me.
Wow, Roger that. And I will cure wounds myself, and then go my 30 feet that direction.
All right, you start chugging that direction. At the end of the turn, we are going to have an attack here happen. That is a 19. That will hit an assassin. That is a dead assassin. You see the master pop up just like out of the blue. Whoosh, his sword arcing through the air, a streak of blood behind it as the assassin who is standing in front of the lake falls and dies. Whoosh. The rest of the lake lies still and silent as the combat comes to a close. What do the rest of you do here as the fighting has come to an end? The swordsmaster like wipes off his blade and puts it behind his back, smiling before sitting back down right where he was.
Alex would say that they should stay vigilant in case they send additional assassins. These might not be the last we'll see of the
We know there was at least one more.
Mm-hmm.
What Norbert is going to do is he's quickly going to pop detect magic around these two assassins and he's going to collect anything that looks remotely magical or any vials of poison they have on them that they use on their weapons. And he's going to inspect the bands of Cerulean on here.
Okay, absolutely. You can pick them up. They are a like large iron sphere, about 3 to 5 feet in diameter, of like bands of iron that wrap and twist around each other with arcane markings on them. It's quite heavy, and it's just sitting there inertly. You can see where it was kind of like half buried and opened in like the sands and the muck and the mud where you stepped previously. As you detect magic, you can find 3 spheres that look very similar to the one that you saw crushed, that turned the assassin invisible, as well as a single, as well as 4 items of non-detection.
Yep.
These are pendants of non-detection, and as well as a single cloak among them that gives you the ping of magic.
I
Do
would
they have
recommend
any
that Sword's
poison
mission
vials?
puts on other pendants.
Huh?
Sorry, both of you spoke at the same time.
Sorry, Norcus, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna ask, do they have any vials of poison on them?
They do not. The poison was applied to their blades before the fighting began.
Roger that.
Alex will suggest to the Swordmaster that he puts on one of the pendants of non-detection, just to give him additional protection during the nights, where we're sure the 5th assassin will strike.
Excellent, excellent. I will do just that.
Actually, before he does that, I say, actually, is there any chance whatsoever they're somehow cursed to be amulets of detection?
I don't believe so.
Nah, that's fine.
Why don't we try putting... We could try putting one on, and I'll see if I can detect you with detect magic.
Oh, yeah, and then you try to take it off, too. If it comes off,
Yeah.
it's not cursed. Yeah.
You experiment with these items and conclude that they are indeed all 4 pendants of non-detection.
I'll drink some tea and attempt to take a short rest.
Absolutely, yeah. You spend some time binding some wounds, drinking some tea, eating some rations. You may recover any spells or class features associated with a short rest in the player's handbook. You may also spend hit dice up to 1/2 your hit dice pool total to regain HP. Excellent. Yeah.
Do the elves need any assistance?
I'm sorry, what were you asking?
What about the dead elf? Like, is there a ceremony, or do they or Serana would want to help our poor fallen friend.
The elves are taking care of the body themselves. There's a small ceremony. Seeing that you want to assist, they will allow some small assistance. You know, hold this, you know, or you know, fetch me the instrument. They're doing it themselves, but they allow you to assist in some small ways in the preparation of the elf's body.
Alex would help as well.
Absolutely, yeah. You and Serana assist in this. There's a solemn, you know, maybe hour of preparation and prayer to Saloon amongst the elves. They kind of eulogize a little bit. You'll see the Swordmaster stands apart from this. He just stands and watches, and then when it's over, sits cross-legged, but once again back, staring over the water's edge.
Alex shares in their prayers. He speaks Elvish as well, so he will pray along with them.
Okay, absolutely.
And then he will say, well, now you prepare for the night.
All right. as you are taking care of yourselves and the elf and like preparing for a night to come here, the one of you that was most vigilant is Serana. She was taking an extra eye even during combat to look out for strange things that go bump in the night. Serana, I want you to give me a perception wisdom check, please.
Of course.
Oh. You're probably so focused on everyone else.
I have not played a single session of the Mist where, like, on some sort of very important, like, mission-defining role, I didn't get it. Like my diviner got a 1 on her magical investigation. My diplomat got a 1 on her diplomatic.
Everything seems fairly normal to you and the party, as the fifth assassin seems nowhere to be found. At some point during the evening, an elf in there walks over to chat with the swordmaster and hands him his tea and walks off. But shortly after that, you see the swordmaster begin to choke and sputter, and it seems that he has been poisoned. And before anything else happens, that is where we will take our second break here. We will see what happens next on the other side. See you guys in about 5 minutes. And hello, Internet. Welcome back to Land Beyond the Mist. Just before we took our break, the Swordsmaster himself, in a moment of respite after the assassins were defeated, was found poisoned by his tea and is choking out, like sputtering on the ground, clearly poisoned and dying. The party members notice this and rush to do what?
I will put
think
the ring on.
All right.
Yeah, we're trying to. Sorry, go ahead.
Norcus, I heard you say you were going to rush to put the ring of poison resistance on his finger.
Absolutely.
All right.
I would instantly cast Absorb Elements on him. Oh no, it's a self spell.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Absorb Elements is not going to work here. You rush to put the ring of poison resistance on his finger. You slide it on. It seems to slow the rate of the poison, but it does not cure him. You've bought yourself a few more moments.
Could I feed him a potion? Yeah.
Yeah, Alex is doing the same thing.
Okay, you try to pour 2 potions in his mouth at once. Shall we roll the potion miss ability? No, I'm kidding. What are you trying to feed him?
I'm going to give him a potion of superior healing. They're trying to restore as much as humanly possible.
Okay.
I also have a potion of healing I would like to administer after Leo is done.
You start administering healing potions down his throat. It seems to be helping. He regains some hit points. He's healthier, but the poison is still racing through his body, still causing damage.
As they do that, I think Serana will have grabbed one of the teacups or something and healing spring, and she'll scoop up a glass of, or not a glass, a teacup full of the healing water, and she'll bring. I think she'll, I don't know, maybe she'll sprinkle in a bit of her tea from her homeland for good luck, and she'll sort of mark. She's not a healer, but I think she'll sort of try to like stir up the arcane as much as she can. Like there's obviously, when we looked at magic, there was something about the water. So she doesn't know any healing spells, but I think she's sort of just trying to activate it in a way, like yeast in bread.
Absolutely.
Like, sort of,
go ahead and make me either an Arcana check or a Medicine Intelligence check. Whichever one is higher for you. Your DC is going to be 16. You feed this concoction of healing water to the Swordmaster. He like chokes and sputters, the poison coursing through him, but it seems to slow and to stop.
Redeeming my catastrophic one.
After a few moments of panic, the four of you manage to like bring the swords master to like a stable condition. He still seems to be incredibly weak. He's almost like passed out, so to speak, or catatonic in some way. But he breathes. He is stable. He's not actively dying from the poison.
Could I guidance myself and attempt to scan for the signs of somebody lurking in the distance? Imagine whoever the poisoner, a professional, would stay to confirm, if they succeeded. So I'm worried this person is still lurking.
And as he does that, Alex will try to fake that, oh no, he didn't make it, by like slamming at the ground, like, no! Damn it, no! To try and, fool him. And
Norcus,
whisper to the swordsman, hey, don't move.
give me an investigation check.
And
I
can guidance this?
Yes, you can use your guidance.
Yeah, you might just want to roll your own, Norbert, if you're allowed to. My investigation is not good. Woo! Oh, okay, 15.
15. 16. You search for the signs of the poisoner sticking around. You don't find the poisoner themselves, but what you do find are discarded clothes. It seems the poisoner has taken or at one point had taken the clothes of one of these elf apprentices of the Swordmaster and wore them. They are now discarded in a heap, hidden a little bit in the brush off the side of the camp. But whoever once wore them is not to be seen.
All of the elves here still have their clothes, right?
You do a quick head count, and you find a missing elf.
Yeah, Alex feels both good and bad that his suspicion was correct from the beginning, but unfortunately couldn't stop it in time. However, I guess the guy is fortunately alive. Maybe their employee of, oh no, he didn't make it, deceives the guy. But either way, success? Question mark.
We're not out of the woods yet. We have to take him to a safe haven.
Yeah.
And is the poison? The poison it's not even fully neutralized, is it? Or is it? It's fully.
He's stable at this point. He's not getting worse.
I suggest we should rest. There's no point in pushing through the night unless the elves insist that we do.
The elves say your words are wise, and they will take up watches, and let you all rest for the evening.
I think Serana will. She'll take a few moments to reset her wards before everyone settles down for the night with the alarm spell. But I think for the most part, she isn't really resting or doing much looking out. She's just kind of mothering the Swordmaster and trying to make he's okay and getting water and more good tea that's nice. And I don't think she's really resting or helping with anything. She knows the wards are very only she can do that, so she'll take a few minutes to set them up. But for the most part, she's not studying her book or trying to get back her magic. She's just sort of trying to make him more comfortable.
Okay, excellent.
Could we ask? Sorry, I'll just simply ask one of the elves, one of the students, for the name of the master as well, just to have it for myself.
Sure. The students will tell you the name of the Swordsmaster if I can find it. Give me 1 second.
And as they're resting, Alex will try and speak with the elves, kind of get a feel for how they met the one that was missing. Maybe he was recommended by a different organization. Maybe they met him in a certain place under a certain,
As
you can kind of-
you're grilling the elves about where they all came from, eventually one of them will find the missing elf dead and tossed aside in the woods some distance away from camp.
So one of them is a shape changer. I will gather up the party and I'm gonna have a conversation with them. I will say that, listen guys, I'm incredibly disappointed in the outcome of this. Once we get him to safe haven, what do you say we visit that cave?
I think
The
that's
orc's name is Gorn. I knew I could find it if I looked.
Gorn, yeah?
Gorn. Gorn. Gorn.
I would certainly like to end this danger to what seems like a virtuous man, but I'll be quick. We know that the Fae were waiting to take him there, and my sword isn't silver or anything. I'd be down to try, but are we able to do that? I'm sure you know better than me what sort of foes we can take on.
Perhaps we take him to safety and then check out the cave ourselves.
That would be if we take him to safety. Which safety are you referring to? Because I think if, depending on where you're referring to, it would be too late to go to the cave.
To the
Oh,
main
yeah,
city
maybe.
of the Wood Elves, or main camp of the
Yeah,
Wood Elves.
he implied that they were close to their sanctuary. I don't know how close they are. I'm sure he won't tell us exactly. But can we ask him if he's maybe hours or days from it? What kind of generic timescape we're talking about?
The elves will tell you that they are perhaps a day and a half, 2 days journey from the sanctuary of which they speak.
Do you have any of your bread remaining, just to cover our trip there?
They say, "Worry not. If you journey with us, then we will provide for your needs to eat and drink. We know the forest well enough to provide."
Very well.
During this, I don't know if I guess the longest hasn't happened yet, but during this night, Norcus would like to ask some of the elves if any of them would share the secrets or the knowledge of how to prepare the pond water as tea.
Yeah, they'll show it to you. So they largely boil it with the algae of the pond, and some like small herbs from the forest. Like they like use pine and just like a bunch of the like naturally occurring things of the forest. It's like pretty gross, honestly. It's like not great.
And Norcus tends to eat a lot of grass and chew on creatures, so he's probably not.
Well, maybe Norcus is like all about this. Yeah. It sounds great to you, but I think anyone else listening in is like, holy moly, this is not ideal.
If Norcus attempted a herbalism check, he'd try to follow the instructions. Add a little bit of extra grass for digestion.
Sure.
I think Serana is enough of a weird tea fanatic that she probably enjoys it. Like, this is a lady hundreds of miles from home and brought tea with her. Like, I think she is down with the weird elf tea.
All right, fair enough. Well, perhaps it's just weird, but it's not overly gross to anyone. All right. Your night will pass uneventfully, and you will be able to rest up for the night. All of you will get a night's rest. You'll be able to get a excuse me. You'll be able to regain all of your spells and class features associated with a long rest in the player's handbook, as well as spend any remaining hit dice you have to regain HP for the next day. When you awake the next morning, the Swordsmaster's condition has not improved, but nor has it worsened.
In the morning, I will be preparing some different spells to help him.
Okay.
As I just need to decide between protection from poison and lesser restoration. Protection from poison neutralizes poison and gives a benefit for an hour. So I'm gonna prepare protection from poison.
Okay.
And waking up, seeing that he is stable but still weakened by the poison, I will I will cast protection from poison on his morning cup of tea.
Okay. You cast protection of poison on him. Can you cast it on a creature? It is on specifically a creature. Perfect.
Yeah.
You can neutralize a poison that you know is present, or one at random. There's only one poison here. You're going to neutralize. The master will wake from his kind of like almost like passed out state. The poison neutralized as your spell takes effect.
Nope.
All right. The master will thank you. Seems I drank something foul. Usually I don't sleep this late into the morning. I appreciate you waking me. I think it is past time we get out of here.
Alex will tell him what actually happened, and let him know that another one of his elf friends has passed, unfortunately. And give him time
Pretty sure
to
he know.
He nods his head in disappointment, and he says, "Come, let us make away from this place. It seems it is no longer safe enough to rest here. Make for sanctuary. You are welcome to follow."
Indeed.
I assume before you go, we make sure we take all the assassin's gear and items and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I successfully prepare the tea the previous night?
Sure. Yeah. The tea isn't a preparation secret. It's just like the water from the pond here that has the effects.
Cool.
Yeah.
And as they begin to walk, Alex has a realization that there is still an assassin out there. He might try to follow them to where Gorn's sanctuary is. So it mentions that to the party.
I will say, well, I was looking into maps in case we were ambushed. We could always turn that around. I can point out a spot where it'd be good to perhaps someone coming around edge of a ravine or something might have to reveal themselves for a second, potentially, and we could set up an ambush of our own, perhaps.
Perhaps.
It's an assassin that can turn invisible, that can change shapes. I don't think there's many precautions we can take in this situation. I think the best course of action is to just go.
I think-
So I'll take
think
up
if we
any plan
do-
you offer.
Yeah, I think if we do anything, we could consider going to somewhere near the sanctuary and leaving someone behind, disguised in a bedroll with some elves around them. And if they come to gank him in the night, surprise, it's one of us and not him.
Mm-hmm. Is it the wood elf? Is it described as a wood elf city, or is it more smaller, like a
They just call it sanctuary. They say it's not a city, but a place where one can stay safely, without worry of.
Sorry, there is one plan I will suggest. I'm just gonna get Norcus, myself, and the Swordmaster. Others can listen in as well. And I will say, me and the druid here, we can look exactly like you. Every facial feature, every part of your body. The problem is, we can only do it for an hour at a time. Once we're about 2 hours off the city, do you think I should transform into you, followed by Norcus, in case we get ambushed? They don't know which one is really you.
No, let them come. It is much safer for you if they attack me and not yourselves. Your footwork is still sloppy.
Norbert is gonna squint. Like, really, man? You still talk that way? Alright, fair enough. Okay.
As we do travel, I will anytime we stop for lunch or have a quick break or something and there's a few minutes, Serana will ritually cast her alarm like a little way behind them or off in the bushes, not just in case she happens to snare an assassin, but not really expecting.
Excellent. So this is 2 days of travel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have each of you roll a check to see if you can avoid or surprise or whatever it is that it might be that you do to safely keep yourselves assassin free on the way to the sanctuary. And so I'm just going to go in camera order. So on the morning of the first days of travel, Norbert, how do you avoid the assassin this morning?
That's an interesting question. I feel like what Norbert is gonna do, he's gonna try and use his insight a little bit. He's gonna look like for land masses or maybe an area where it would be easy for the enemies to ambush the convoy of elves and the party going through the forest. He's going to look for small hills or maybe small little caves from where, people could jump out at any moment, and he's gonna rush towards them and check them out first before the party passes through them. As I'm guessing the party is going slower than one individual can just run fast, right?
Okay.
So I'm guessing he's gonna try and insight to places where they could be waylaid on.
Sure, I will accept that. Go ahead and give me an insight check into where ambushes could be taking place in the morning. That is a success. You are rushing ahead, maybe scaring off the assassin, checking the places where your party might be waylaid, and you prevent any opportunity the assassin might have to step in and hurt the Blade Master or anyone else of your party during the first part of your journey. Alex, in the afternoon and evening, how do you avoid the assassin on the first day?
Well, to fight an assassin, you have to think like an assassin. And Alex is a rogue, so he thinks like an assassin. He will kind of not lean back, but stay a little back behind the party. He will move from shadow to shadow, from bush to bush. He will actively try to stalk his own companions, try and get the best possible, if I were an assassin, where would I be? Sort of thing.
You are going to stalk your own party in an attempt to find where the assassin might be. Go ahead and give me a stealth dexterity check.
Perfect. As a rogue, is it possible to get advantage on this as someone that is trained in following and sneaking people?
I don't think advantage makes sense, no. I think you're just getting your, bonuses from proficiency and whatnot.
That's fair.
Yeah.
14?
That is a 14.
Why
Okay.
is that turned on? That's not accurate. Anyway, yes, 14 is accurate.
14 is accurate. Okay. That is a 14. That is a success. DC is 14 exactly. You stalk this assassin's prey for him, keeping an eye out for where they might be and preventing them from having an opportunity to grab your party. The first day of the travel passes fairly uneventfully. You sleep and eat at the campfire, swap stories with the elves, and then pick up on the next day. Serana, on the second day of travel, how do you avoid the assassin in the morning?
Okay, were the elves providing us food? Is that what they said?
Yes.
Just for the position. I think Serana her approach is a lot less physical. I think she's trying to sort of think about it in a puzzle-like manner and is partially she's got her maps and she has her magic. And I think she's sort of trying to combine them into I know if we take this path, it'll be open and an assassin's gonna have to hang back if they've got nowhere to hide. Or we can go, Pat, what are you doing? Or if we go this way, they can only hide there and I'll cast alarm there. And it's I think she's sort of trying to do, classic battle of wits, which chart plays and chalice do you drink sort of.
Okay. I like that. Yeah.
At level 2, so I think she's trying to be sort of like strategic about it, I suppose.
Yeah, I like that. Go ahead and give me. I think this could be cartographer's tools if you're using your maps with intelligence. Or it could be like survival if that made more sense for your character. An 18, that is success. You keep your party in locations that the assassin can't jump you, keeping you out in the open, not giving them the opportunity to attack. There is no assassin attack during your trek. Finally, in the afternoon and evening, Norcus, how do you avoid the assassin?
Also in a very, very similar way to Serana, I'll be like trying to do so. Like if we're traveling, we'll cut across the stream so that if the assassin follows too close behind us, the footsteps might be revealed, or try and go up a bit where like there's a bit not a cliff, but just like where if the soil's been eroded, you have to kind of climb over a ledge, thinking that someone invisible is going to be so using the terrain to try and make it so this the assassin has to keep more distance or loop around.
All right, absolutely. It sounds to me like while Serrano was maybe using her maps, you're using your knowledge of the nature itself. It sounds to me like you're doing kind of like a survival wisdom.
Nope.
That is a success. The four of you managed to keep the assassin off of your trail during your entire trek through the woods. You all arrive safely at the sanctuary. Swiper, no swiping, indeed. Here, the elves kind of stop at a great tree in the forest, larger than the rest as it reaches up. The orc kind of pulls out a medallion from around his neck, and he raises it up and calls out that Gorn has come to seek sanctuary, and the pauses for a moment, and there is still silence in the forest for a second, 5, 10. After a full pregnant pause, the tree skitters, and from it descends an enormous drider, woman torso on an enormous spider's body, with long silver hair, wispy and thin like spider silk. And as she makes her way slowly down the tree, she eyes the party and the orcs and says, "That amulet is only for you, Gorn." He nods and says, "Yes, I am aware. Sanctuary for me. My companions will return home. They shall be safe without me." Very good. Very good. You've led people to my home. Are they food? Why should I not eat them? And Gorn strokes his chin for a moment and says, "Perhaps we could come to some other arrangement. I'm sure you have problems that my blade can solve. Let us discuss it. If you find my answers unworthy, then I'm sure you will do what you want anyway." And the creature seems to consider for a moment and goes, "Fine, let us discuss." And the tree seems to shimmer for a moment, and you recognize it as a portal to not the Feywild, but some other realm, seemingly adjacent to the prime material plane, through which the Drider woman and Gorn step through.
I'll just my ring.
My ring.
Yeah.
Do we see anything on the other side of the portal?
Yes, indeed. It is.
I don't look. I don't want to get. I don't want to get killed.
Yes, indeed. It is a realm of stone, dark and cavernous. And in the stone kind of ground, it looks normal almost until your eyes come up to like the ceiling of this cavernous stone realm, and on the ceiling are the glittering eyes of spider-like creatures by the thousands, like stars in the night sky. And just barely you can see the like buildings of the Drider like people built into the ceiling of this place. And just as you kind of come to see what is there, the tree shimmers and becomes opaque once more.
At the last moment, Alex glances into the portal and looks down, grabs his cape, swirls it about him, and whooshes into the portal. And as he's taken forever, he shakes his head, blinks, looks around. He's still where he is, having had a terrible, terrible idea and a terrible, terrible vision, and does not do that.
Okay, you managed to avoid teleporting yourself into the realm of a powerful Drider, and you stand with the elves. They thank you for your assistance with bringing their swords master into sanctuary, and they offer to guide you through the forest back to civilization. I am going to call our session a little bit short here. I think this is a pretty good place to wrap it up, and my head is getting to me a little bit. Got the headache going on full blast.
Do you want the ring of poison resistance?
I'm sorry. What about the ring of poison?
Do you want it, Greg? Put it on for you?
That would be great. Yeah, I think that would be solid. I am going to add up some experience points for you all, and hand out some loot in a moment. But while I do that, I'm going to turn the session over to you, as we normally do before we wrap up, to give yourselves a shout out and tell people what you got going on, where they can find you, that sort of thing. So I'm gonna start with Horo. Take it away, my friend.
Absolutely. So first of all, and like always, thank you very much for another lovely session in the mist. I look forward to seeing where the story goes for this new NPC. Actually, a very powerful Drider it was, right? Like a half human, half spider. It looks like a third faction has entered the realm of Fae, the old Fae, and it seems like the Underdark is getting involved now. So I look forward to seeing where that goes. Outside of that, you can see me on Discord anytime you guys want. I think my name is on there, Horo, so feel free to text me or just ping me if you ever want to talk about anything. And yeah, like always, thank you again.
Awesome. That sounds great. Leova, you got any shout outs?
My first shout out is always going to be to Greg for hosting and running an amazing game with a great community. I have a ton of fun. I look forward to this. I look forward to everyone else's sessions, and I love this. This is great. Shout out to Sirana for finally joining us in the Mist proper. Congratulations on surviving your first adventure against a bunch of deadly assassins, which almost killed me and Norcus. And shout out to I'm sure there's someone else. Swordmaster for being a fucking badass. I might end up being in another campaign over on Mega's channel if I get some time outside of work and this to get my shit together, so to speak. But at the moment, just Alex in the Mist.
Very cool. Awesome. Lysana, right? I hope I did that right. Do you have any shout outs that you'd like to make?
Well, thank you very much for running it, Greg, and I'm feeling unwell. I hope that improves better.
Thank you.
Improves soon. Gets better. Anyway, and thank you all for playing. I know this was like a weird time, and thank you all for helping set up a session that was at a time that wasn't 4 in the morning. Because it's very, very fun to get to play, and I'm really hoping I can bring Sarah back out again sometime soon, because I really enjoy this. So thank you so much, all of you.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. And last but not least, Jack, if you've got any shout outs, let us know.
Yeah, no shout outs, but just big thanks to Greg for running this awesome game even while sick. You're a legend. And thanks to my fellow players. It was really nice to play again. It was great.
Oh, and thanks to everyone involved for doing this anti-mission mission. I think it's pretty cool that it was allowed to.
Oh, yeah.
Trendsetters.
Alrighty. I think that I have everything sorted out here. So, let's go ahead and give you all some rewards, huh? I would like each of you to take home 1,950 experience points for your adventure today. I would also like for each of you to take home 100 gold pieces that you would have found on the... each of you will take 100 gold pieces, the sum of which were found on the assassins. You will also each gain minus 15 reputation with the Midnight Consortium.
Woo.
I'm surprised it's only minus 15 and not more.
Yeah, to actively fight them, like...
Yeah. So, items wise, you will find the bands of I think it's brilliant. I think it's with a B, not a C. Let me find my official notes. You would have been. These are the Iron Bands of Bilero, I believe. This is the Rusty Iron Sphere. This one is quite large, 3 to 5 feet. It weighs 10 pounds. So you can use it in one of two ways. You can speak the command word and throw the sphere at a huge or smaller creature you see within 60 feet of you. As it moves through the air, it opens up its tangle of bands, and you make a ranged attack roll with your dexterity modifier and no proficiency. On a hit, the target is restrained until you take a bonus action to speak the command word and release it again. Doing so, or missing with the attack, causes the bands to contract and become a sphere once more. The other way to use it is to speak its command word and have it open up in a trap. And the first creature to step inside of it will have to save against the binding of the magic or become restrained until you speak its command word to release it.
Are we able to ascertain the command word? Or
Yes. Part of getting the item will be knowing the command word.
And was it just one of those? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
How many of those were there?
The command word is like unimportant. It's just largely text,
no, I'm
right?
sorry.
It's just the uses. The single one, the one that was used against you. The creature restrained therein has a DC 20 strength check to either break the iron bands or to avoid being captured by them in the trap. That is the Bands of Brilliant. You found 3 spheres of Turn Invisible. These spheres can be used as an action to break them and become clouded in a shroud of magical dust. This dust will turn you invisible until the end of your next turn. There are
Sorry, it's
4
an action,
pendants
right?
of non-detection. They are magic items that give you non-detection as per the spell in the player's handbook. And then there is a single cloak of shadow. This cloak of shadow allows you to have advantage on dexterity stealth checks or any other ability checks to hide and remain unseen in dim light or shadow. All right. So, with those sorted, would anyone like to lay claim to the iron bands of Bilero?
Yeah, I'd like to lay claim.
All right.
Yeah, if Norcus wants it, go for it.
Sounds like they are yours unopposed. Go ahead and take them,
Awesome.
Norcus.
Awesome, thanks, guys.
There are 3 of the spheres of Turn Invisible left from the assassins that you've found. Would anyone like to lay claim to them?
Serana would like to try to grab one because she's a very squishy little wizard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, should we just roll and the top 3 rolls get one?
I'm happy to bow out if you just want to do the 3 of you guys.
I already have a better version of this, so feel free to absolutely get it. Because I have a ring of invisibility that just lets me turn invisible. So.
Yes.
Oh, should we each just take one, or do people want to? Does anybody want to roll to?
Yeah, I guess me and Serana can each take one, and we'll roll for the other.
Sounded like
I wouldn't mind.
Norcus wanted one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay. So if you want, you can split them one each, or we can kind of roll on them to see where they go.
It seems like one for each of us who doesn't have a ring seems good.
Yep. One each.
Okay, sounds agreed upon then. So Serana, Alex, and Norcus, go ahead and take one sphere of Turn Invisible. There are 4 pendants of non-detection. I'd like to just give one to each of you. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
I donate mine to the Cold Iron Company because I absolutely have no slots whatsoever.
Yes, you can. Everyone, go ahead and take +5 to the Cold Iron Company.
Wait, what?
Can we do? Would I be able to donate mine as well? Or is it one donation per session?
I will give up to 10 reputation for donating items. And that could be in one go or it could be in multiple.
Yeah. Alex will give his to the Arcanium Council for their efforts and whatnot.
Okay. So Serana and Norcus, go ahead and take one pendant of non-detection, and then Alex and Norbert are donating theirs. So everyone also takes 5 reputation positively with the Cold Iron Company and 5 reputation with the Arcanium Council.
That was really handy.
Yeah.
Get in the library.
The last item that I have for you is a Cloak of Shadow. Would anyone like the Cloak of Shadow?
Is that attunement?
I do not have it listed as attunement, so I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'll take a roll at it. Cloaks
Does everybody roll 1d100?
Sounds good.
Okay, anyone that would like it, go ahead and roll me a d100. They'll have the highest take it. All right. Looks like it's just the 2 of you. Norbert, that is a 38. Go ahead and take the Cloak of Shadow.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, thank you all for playing with me. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Twitch chat, I hope that you enjoyed it as well. Go ahead and have a great rest of your day, night, or week, or whatever. So I see you again. It's going to be a little bit before we have another miss because we just had 2 pretty close to back. But I think in next week we already have one scheduled. I'll have to double check it. But I hope to see you then. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you around. Bye.
I will give Alex back his dagger and Sandals?
Okay.
Yeah, Alex takes back the shoes. He has to